go for main engine start. We have main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome everybody, whether it be morning, afternoon or evening. We are just about to get ready here for our second qualifying of the SSL Gold Cup. Sitting right next to me is Veronica Mazzarol. Welcome, Veronica.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Very nice to have you here. She will be joining us for this first race as we get things underway. The boats have left the harbor. The wind is slowly coming in from the north, and we should be able to see some racing relatively soon. Before we get started, let's show you a little bit about the race schedule for today. Here we go. We are in round 2 of the qualifying series, and we will be seeing group number 3 today. We'll have 3 teams on the water. We'll have Ecuador, Lithuania, and Slovenia. Coming up is the match board. Here we go. So as you see on the left-hand side is the qualifying series round 1, which happened last week, where we have Antigua Barbuda, which has qualified along with Tahiti in Group 1, and Estonia and Ireland in Group 2. Today we'll be showing you the qualifying series of round 2. Like we said, we have Ecuador, Lithuania, and Slovenia. Hong Kong, unfortunately, could not be here as due to COVID lockdown. A little bit about the course that we'll be sailing today. So here we go with a start down at the bottom. Boats will be zigzagging, tacking their way up to Mark 1 before going back down with the wind and going through gate number 2. They will then go back up to Mark 3. And depending on how much wind we have, we'll do that twice around or maybe 3 times around. We have a team comparison. Here we go with a team comparison. Ecuador, team name Latri. Julio Velez is the team captain. We have Team Lithuania with Gintare Scheidt, which is the team captain. Team is called the Ambers, and Slovenia with Krapani, and the captain is Vasily Zbogar. So that's for your 3 teams that will be competing today. And the provisional overall. Here we go. We've had some racing in yesterday. They had 2 races in yesterday, planning on having another 2 races today. See, Slovenia right now is at the top of the leaderboard, having 3 points. When you have 3 points, that means that you were in first place. 2 points, so they were in second. So, but anything is still open. As you see, the overall, we have 5 points, 4 and 3. All we need is just, for example, Ecuador. If they win, they could easily make it back up to the top of the leaderboard. So anything is open. And let's not forget that tomorrow is the final day of sailing. Tomorrow is the golden day, and all the everything will count twice the amount of points. So instead of having 3 points if you're first place, you'll have 6 points, etc. for the rest of the ranking. We will now go for a small interview. We have a small interview from Team Ecuador. We have Julio Velez, which is the captain of Team Ecuador.
Yes, yesterday we have good feelings. It was the first time to compete against other boats, especially European teams with top sailors. So for us, we think like a team it was a good day. We were very tight all the races. The winners was like a little bit, so small details makes the teams who wins. So we were really happy about yesterday. Well, for today, our main goal is to finish the day in the qualifying positions. We're a few points against the other teams, so we think this is possible. We saw the forecast; it seems going to be light wind, so we are small. We are very light. Will be our chance.
That was a quick little interview there with Captain Julio Velez. We're going now, let's take a quick look at the team lineup. Here we go with Team Ecuador. Like we said, Julio Velez is the captain of the team. And we have yes, they have the captain as we see here, and the tactician Diminic. And we'll continue on with our team lineup with Team Lithuania. Team Lithuania with Captain Gintare Šait, who has been to the Olympic Games several times. We have the helmsman, which is the hotshot of the team, Jonathan Martinetti. So those are the two big names for Lithuania. Moving right along to Team Slovenia. And Veronica, this is your team right here. So we have a captain, Vasily Zbogar. Exactly.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
We have a couple hotshots on your team as well. You guys are quite a few. Yourself, Veronica Mazzarol. Anybody else in this team which you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, I think they are really a great team. They work really well together, and I was sailing for 70 with Tina Mrak. We did 2 Olympic campaigns together for Rio and Tokyo. Our coach was Tomasz Czopi, the main trimmer. And also in Tokyo was with us Mitya Margon, the trimmer, was a team leader. So after Tokyo, we are still together on the boat.
So that's very good news. Well, it obviously worked well. You placed 5th and 6th, respectively, when you went to the Olympic Games. So a very, very good result for you. And like you said, you're still together on the same boat. So that's it's great to see. And definitely have a strong team together. So that's very good. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens out there on the water. They've already sailed quite well yesterday.
Yeah, today we have the wind from the other direction, so I hope we'll be more stable than yesterday. Our team did yesterday 2 bad starts, and I hope that today will be better.
Yeah, I'm sure that they'll be a little bit. It will be a little bit easier, having wind from the north. It is a more stable wind than from when it was coming from the southwest yesterday. So different conditions. Pretty light conditions as well today again. But it'll be exciting to see that. We'll get to that very soon here. But let's continue on with a little interview from Lithuanian team captain Gintare Šait. So here we go with that interview.
So yesterday we had the first racing day, and it's the first day we are racing with this team. So everybody were very excited, and we were happy with our day. Yeah, we always go for win, but we will see so many little things besides the race. It's like sailing is 1,000 little things. So every mistake, I think the team that makes less mistakes always arrive in front. Yesterday we decided that I will stay on the rib, and the other tactician of our team will stay in the boat, as there was from 3 days there was the more windy yesterday. So I was on the rib, and it's hard. It's hard to stay on the rib and cannot do anything. So it was hard to see, but I mean I was super happy with the starts that our skipper managed to do. It was perfect, and but yeah. I think for every athlete to stay in the boat, it's hard in the motorboat.
That was Gintare right there with a little interview, maybe a little camera shy, but Here we go. Let's take a look at the weather forecasts and see what is happening. So we have 8 knots, wind direction 65, so it is coming out of the northeast. We have sunny weather for the time being, and the pictures you're seeing are the live pictures. We see the 3 boats are already sailing. They're getting on their way to start this race number 3. Temperature 18 degrees. And before we get started, let's listen to the traditional anthem. First anthem will be the national anthem for Team Ecuador. And there we go with the anthem of Ecuador. Coming up right now is the national anthem of Lithuania. There we go. That was the national anthem for Team Lithuania, and now for the national anthem of Team Slovenia. Those were the national anthems of the 3 teams that were there. We saw you there right in the middle with your number 14, it is?
Yes.
Number 14. Before we go out onto the water, we'd like to just show you again what the what the configuration today of racing configuration will be, the course configuration. So you saw on the last one we had it two times around. It is confirmed they will be sailing 3 laps. So here we go. That's the first lap, and then we go to the second windward once again through the gates and back up to the mark number 5. And before we go back with the finish, I think the arrow went the wrong way around on the last lap.
Yeah. I just saw that. Was strange.
Yes, we'll always keep the marks on a port tack as we go around them. Another thing we don't see in that explanation is that on the second lap we should be seeing a pink marker, which will indicate to us that the course perhaps has changed in length, and also perhaps in direction, depending on what the wind has done. And on the third lap, we go back to the yellow markers. So the weather boat is going to be having a lot of work to be doing to get all those marks up and down on the race course and making sure everything is very clear and understandable for the teams that are racing. Here we go. This is your boat.
Yeah.
This is your team. Why don't you explain to us a little bit who is who here?
Yeah, in the back is Vasily Bogar, the captain. He has to do the tactics. I think he's always here. It's really important. He has to take important decisions, and it's really hard for him because he's leading all the team. Then it's Igor Lach, the helmsman. He works really well. He trusts his team, and he has really a good feeling with the helm. Then it's Tomasz Tochopi on the main trimmer, and then now I can't see the others.
Thank you. Anyway, that's a really good explanation. Those are, those guys, they've been sailing together for quite a while. Like you said, the team is made up of two athletes, yourself and Tina, on that boat, plus your coach, Vasily, who also has been to the Olympic Games.
Yes.
As well.
3 medals in the Olympics.
Yeah, 3 medals in the Olympics. It's there's the level I think on this boat is perhaps a little bit higher than maybe what we see on the other 2 boats. There are more medals.
We have also a rower.
Yes, you also have a rower. That's very interesting. He also has an Olympic medal. And he is a grinder, actually.
Grinder, yeah.
Yeah, so a strong guy, used to rowing. So as a grinder, as those of you who sail will know, it's the pedestal which we call the coffee grinder, which is pulling in all the sails, and it's a very, very physical position on the boat.
He knows what hard work is.
Yeah, he knows what hard work is, and he's used to using his arms. Yeah. So are sailors, but I think as a rower even more.
Yeah, I was also rowing and it was really hard.
Yeah, so
I was always tired.
Yeah, I can imagine, exactly. And you don't have any time to rest. I mean, here sometimes, on the windward or leeward, you can get maybe a couple seconds to breathe and sort of and recuperate a little bit, even though these guys are sailing really at the highest level here. And just really quite physical. They're always working. Here we go with the team Lithuania, which is right in front of us, and we just have a nice little onboard here with their team. We see the main winch, which is right there, right in the middle. As you can see, there are also some lines that are coming in front there where it says written Vang. There goes the shore crew, which was just on the boat, and he's just left. So each boat has a shore crew, and that shore crew is there to make sure that everything is just working fine for each boat. Let's not forget to explain how this works. We have each team sails on a boat. This team this week we only have 3 teams, so they won't be switching boats. But as we saw last week, as we will see in the weeks to come, that we have several more teams, and they have to switch boats. So we have to make sure that all the boats in very good operational order, and that nothing breaks. And these teams are not. Everybody is used to sailing on this type of boat, so just to make sure that everything goes well, we do have a shore crew on every team. This is Team Ecuador now. That we see right here with the captain Julio Velez, which is which number is he? I think maybe 13. Yeah. So Julio Velez. Let's maybe get a little shot from outside. Thank you guys. Well, maybe that's not the best shot either. Yeah, we got number. Yes. So anyway, this is Team Ecuador here, which is also getting ready. We see in the background on the right hand side there we have the jury, which is ready for to intervene. Shall they need to? We can see them right there on the right-hand side. And in the background, the beautiful mountains of the Jura. And here we go on the left-hand side. This is the starting line boat, the pin boat with that orange flag on it, which we will see in the starting sequence. The starting line is between the two orange flags. Here we go with the team. We are back on board here with Team Lithuania, I believe. And we see here 8 minutes left to go before the beginning of this race 3 in the qualifying series, the second round of the qualifying series. Let's not forget that you guys are probably following us either on YouTube or on Facebook. You can also make sure that you can get all the information that you like about the SSL Gold Cup, and you can go to goldcup.starsailors.com. That will give you all the information that you need if you'd like to check out some of the teams. We have some great pictures that are on there as well. We are very, very active on social media. So we've got some unbelievable pictures that have been taken on the water, some very good action shots. You can see all that on the starsailors.com page. If you have any questions, make sure you can make sure to write them down. We do have a live chat, which is on Facebook, also on YouTube. We'll definitely make sure that we try to answer as many questions as we can. And we are now. Let's see here. We are 6 minutes and 45 seconds away from the start. We see the race committee boat, which is that little white motorboat with a small cabin and that big orange flag. And so we were talking about the orange flag earlier. That is the line, the starting line. This is a really important time before we get started. In order to be able to have a good race, it's really important that the teams set themselves up in order to have a good start. And obviously you know a lot about that. Can you explain to us a little bit about what you're doing in these last 5-6 minutes before the start?
Actually, we were always looking at the wind also before the start, and you decide on which part of the course you will sail. If you see more wind, you can predict more wind on the right, on the left side of the course, and that also depends how you will start, close to the committee boat or on the pin. But I think the starting line will be really short, and all the team will be really close together. So yesterday we saw that the boat closer to the pin could go upwind and disturb the boat, windward boat,
Yeah.
and slowing them down. So I don't know. We'll see what we will they do. I think only 3 boats. They will keep together all the time and watch each other, not just the wind.
Yeah, not just the wind. Yeah, just making sure that they're playing and making sure that no
Yeah.
one is actually getting
Yeah.
to leave. They'll probably stick together.
Actually, also with the light wind, I think everybody will be close together and everything can happen till the finish line.
Yeah, yeah. It should be very action-packed, as you said. People will stick together, and here we can see. We already saw before on the tracking that the teams were already starting to set themselves up. They're sitting behind the line, and here we go. So this is the starting line that you're seeing right here between the 2 orange flags on the 2 boats, and on the left here we have the teams. They're starting to jostle for positions. We've seen in the last races that the leeward boat was the most favorable boat, having a very strong position, being able to even eject some of the others before the starting line.
Yeah, because the starting line is
Here
really
we go.
short.
Yeah, 4 minutes. So that flag that we just saw go up is the P flag right there. It's the flag in the middle with the white square. That pretty much that tells us what the rule is going to be in the last minute before they take the start, and that's actually the most friendly flag that they have. That's basically it just says you need to be behind the starting line before you get started. So it's a very lenient flags. We can have other flags, for example, such as a black flag, which says that if you're anywhere above the starting line in the last minute, you will get disqualified, and that's a very, very difficult flag, a tough flag. We might see something like that if we are, if we have very few races and we absolutely need to get one in, and or the boats are constantly over the line before starting. So it's not a flag that we'll show or that we'll see immediately. We'll start with the more lenient flags, and apparently race committee this morning was very, very satisfied with. The jury was very, very satisfied this morning with the teams and the fair play. They thought the sailing was great yesterday. So we should really see some high quality, fair play, great sailing. And that's really what we want. It's really interesting to be able to see how they play the game.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody want to qualify for the finals, and it will be a tough racing.
Yeah. So in here this week, the top 2 teams will qualify for the 32nd of the final. Which will be happening in the month of November. Here we go. Let's look here at the graphic. We see everybody sort of jostling for position. Lithuania is coming back towards Ecuador and Slovenia. You see the starting line on the right-hand side. So they're, for the time being, it seems as though they're far away, but they're not that far. These boats accelerate really quickly. There we go. Slovenia is definitely, they've got to move. They've got something up their sleeves. Ecuador is right in the middle. We have Lithuania, which is coming back towards them. We should see everybody. There we go. That's Lithuania. They should be tacking very soon. Oh, what's happening? Are they going behind Ecuador? Ecuador did not necessarily want to protect their position. I'm thinking they probably want to go and be the leeward boat. Right now in the standings, Ecuador has the least amount of points, so they might be the most aggressive here on this start. They're definitely looking behind them and looking what's happening. The difficult thing is always to be able to slow your boat down enough. Here we go, last minute before the start. So slowing your boat down is a good thing, but then you need to be able to catch some speed. Is it looking like they're gonna go for a pin end start with Ecuador? Lithuania with 40 seconds left to go. They haven't tacked yet, so looking like they might want to get a flying start with a lot of speed. Slovenia is in the middle. Let's hope they don't get sandwiched, because that is that could be a problem.
No, but if they're not too close to the leeward boat, then won't be a problem, I think.
There we go. They're protecting their position. Yeah, what we're trying to do is 15 seconds. Let's look at this. 15 seconds to go. We see Ecuador is having to slow their boat down here before they get going. Here we go with 5 seconds left.
I think they're behind.
Oh, and look at this.
Yeah.
Lithuania is got some speed. Here we go. That's a start. Oh, we got some boats. Nobody's very close to the line.
Yeah, everybody's behind, yes.
Everybody's behind on this one. But everybody's got some speed, and it doesn't look like there's too much aggressivity between all the boats. Everybody's just trying to get a smooth line. So when you get off the start, I mean, what are you trying to do right here? Are you trying to go high, or are you trying to go fast?
You have to go fast, and that's why I said that it's not good to be close to the leeward board if you're windward, because then you can go fast.
Yeah, so you need to be able to bear away.
Yes.
Yeah, bear away, head down a little bit, and then
to gain
some speed.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly,
yes.
on the start. So having a boat just lured of you is actually a big problem.
Yes, yes. And also if there is a boat
A windward?
yes, windward, you can tag, so it's a problem to be in the middle.
Yeah, so this is what we were talking about when we were saying let's make sure they don't get sandwiched.
Yes.
A difficult position to be in the middle. However, in the middle, you have the options. You have the options to go left or to go right. You can sort of stay in the middle. So you're taking, if it's taking the least amount of risk. Here we go. The start has already been given here. You see with that green, white, and checkered flag over on the committee boat. Generally, we at this level of sailing, we see the guys a little bit more on time, shall I say? It seems like they're
playing
maybe
safe.
yeah, I think they're playing
over.
safe. Yeah, definitely don't want to be over. Then they have to go back. So here we go. This is actually what is happening right now. So we see that Ecuador has a 15-meter lead, and looks like a tie between Lithuania and Slovenia, which is in the back. It's kind of funny. We saw Ecuador early on going for the pin end. Maybe they saw something that the others didn't.
But when you start on the committee board on the pin, it's easier because you're close to them and you can see the line easier. When you're in the middle, you never know.
Yeah,
if you're right on the
it's difficult to see. Yeah, obviously, the line is not drawn on the water.
Yes.
It's easier to see if you are close to the committee boat or to the pin. Yeah, exactly. Here you go, your teammates.
Yeah.
Tina Mrak, number 2 right there, who you sailed with, went twice to the Olympics with.
Yeah.
She went 3 times to the Olympics, I believe.
Yes.
Okay,
also in London. She was also
in London in 2012?
Yes.
Okay. Everybody's hanging out. We have Vasily in the back, number 10 over there, tactician. He is putting all of his weight out there, and it's a good thing because he's a tall guy.
Yeah, he's the tallest.
Yeah.
No, also Jan is tall, yeah.
Yeah, but Jan needs to be really concentrated. We can see there number 8, the skipper. Very, very concentrated and making sure that he's got all the speed. Right now it's a crucial period for them. It's the very first leg here we saw. You look at the top. We have leg 6, which is up there, and we have 6 legs to go. So on this very first one, it's really a question of getting some speed and trying to get to that windward mark first. Right now they're not. It's more like a drag race right now than anything else. Now, what's interesting here is that I was hearing by some of the guys that are sailors around here, and they were saying that Team Slovenia has a very, very they're very fast and they have a high mode, and they sort of manage to be able to be closer to the wind and faster than their 2 opponents. So. We'll have to keep an eye on that and see how things are going. There we go. Ecuador has just tacked over, and they are now they are then passing behind the other 2 boats. So apparently they wanted the pin end, but it didn't really favor them.
Yeah.
They were the first ones to cross the line.
But looks like it was better to start on the committee boat because they get more pressure and the header, and they stay behind.
Right, so now they're switching off to the right. They're 73 meters behind, but let's not forget they also have one tack in that the other teams don't have. We know that it takes a good 20 meters probably each tack, 15, 20 meters. So we'll see what's happening here. Looks like we're already getting to the ley line. Which is possible. We've got about 1,000 meters left to go on this windward mark.
Yeah, for sure, Slovenia will wait for the Lithuania to tack.
Yeah, let's take a look at what's happening. Let's apparently Marco is out on the water. Marco, can you hear us?
Yeah, hi Ian, how Veronica, how's it going?
Hey.
Hey Marco, good to hear from you. How's it going out there?
It's looking nice, actually. So, as you can tell probably from your screens, all the teams decided to go left early on the race course, and so really, hang in that starboard tack because you can't see this from the cameras, but there's a bunch of clouds actually on the mountains on the left side of the course, which I believe are bringing more pressure. That's why we're seeing both Slovenia and Lithuania just really staying on that starboard tack as long as possible. But I don't know. We'll have to see on a downwind if the strategy is the same or if they decide to come down more on the right side of the course.
Okay, very interesting. Yeah. It's hard for us to be able to see those clouds. We did see just a little bit earlier, but that's some great information. Thanks a lot. That's really good. Thank you, Marco.
Yeah, thanks you guys.
Okay, we'll be keeping in touch with you. We'll see what's happening. We'll get back to you probably on the downwind or maybe as we get closer to the windward mark. Anyway, that's some really good information. Oh yeah, there are those clouds that he was talking about. It'll be really interesting to see how this goes on. I guess we really can't forget to explain to the viewers that we're not sailing in a sea. We're not sailing in an ocean. We are sailing on a lake.
Yes.
Yeah, we are in Geneva. We are in Switzerland, and we are sailing on Lake Neuchâtel. I think I will eventually get this right. We're sailing on Lake Neuchâtel in Switzerland, and behind us you can see there that is the Jura mountain range. So we are sort of funneled between the Jura, and on the other side, a little bit further away, we have the Alps, which sort of it gives us this nice little funnel. It's a great place to sail with a thermic breeze that comes in at 10 o'clock in the morning. But it also means that we get quite a few wind shifts, and the wind can vary in direction and also in strength. So it's tricky sailing. Here we go. We have another 560 some odd meters to get to the first mark. We get this really nice on board here. Oh, here we go. Now this will be interesting, and let's see what happens. We've got Team Ecuador, which is on the right-hand side of the playing field of the.
But I think there is more pressure on the left side. We'll see when they will cross. But I think they had a header, and now they tacked the Slovenian and the Lithuanian, and will be nice to see when they cross.
Yeah, this is what it all comes down to now, is to be able to see who is going to pass in front of one another. Remember, these guys here have 2 tacks in. The other ones have only 1 tack in. So they've lost a little bit more time, but let's see what happens. They have the right of way here. Oh, here we go. They're having to bear down, so the right-hand side was probably the preferred place to go. That was Team Lithuania, which just had to duck down between Ecuador. So Ecuador is now back in the game. Remember, they have 1 more tack in than the others. Looks like there's a little bit more pressure on the right-hand side. And looks also like Slovenia has really found their groove right now. They've managed to have a little bit of distance placed between themselves and Lithuania, and now it's just a question of keeping their spot and sort of protecting their spot as the leader.
Yeah, it looks like that Slovenia has a better angle, and they're really fast. They're sailing really fast. So.
Yeah, it looks like they're a little. They're a little bit closer to the wind, and they are a little bit faster than the other teams. And then I think that
Now Ecuador is leading.
there we go. There, Ecuador is leading.
We'll see.
Interesting. Ecuador definitely has got some very good speed. They were third, and now they're back to first. We'll see what's happening here. We'll definitely see it. It kind of looks like there's a right hand shift for Ecuador to just be able to come back like this. This would make sense that the wind has turned to the right a little bit, and that's also what led them allowed them to come back into the game. Now we saw that Lithuania and Slovenia were going off to the right. There we go. Slovenia right here in front of you has now attacked. We have Ecuador behind, and we're hard to see if they're passing in front of Lithuania or not. Here we go. Ecuador has just tacked right there, so it looks like they might be in second place.
Yep.
Yes, just in front. Look at that. So by going off to the right, they've managed to get themselves back into the game. Here we go, Slovenia. Now we have this little dog leg here. This is where it's going to get interesting. This is where last week we saw quite a lot of things happening with trying to put up their Spinnakers. So let's see what's going on today. We see that they're slowly feeding those Spinnakers out there, and let's see if we're going to get any sort of crazy moves. We saw some sambucas that were done last time, and so it'll be interesting to see what's going on. It looks like Slovenia has just put up their Spinnaker.
They're already up. Yeah.
There we go. Now followed behind by Ecuador. Are they gonna do anything special? No, everybody's just putting up their Spinnaker, and one after the other. Same thing. Yep,
But
same thing
with
with
the
Lithuania.
offset mark, for sure it's easier because you have more time to prepare
Yeah.
for the hoisting.
Yeah, so everybody now everybody is following one another here. We're now on the second leg. Now what's going to be interesting here is that we're going to see that Lithuania might try to attack Ecuador, and Ecuador might try to attack Slovenia. Basically, they're at this point they're more looking at what's going on behind them than what's going on in front of them.
Of course, yeah.
And one of those reasons being the wind.
For sure, they have to be close together, and Slovenia for sure will watch Ecuador and Lithuania when they will jibe. I think they will go with them.
Here we go. I think we're getting a jibe right here from Ecuador, which is in the middle. First one to jibe, and a simultaneous jibe with Lithuania.
Maybe they are in a good pressure and will wait.
I think they definitely need it. I think that tactically speaking, they need to stay with their opponent, which is great now for Slovenia, which is managing to get themselves. Here we go. They're jibing as well. So we can see some hands flying in front of the camera right there. That's the grinder.
Trimmer.
And now we have the trimmer, which is right in front of us. Yeah, well, the camera is located right now. What we're looking, the camera is located in the grinding pedestal, so it gives us a really interesting view of what's happening on the boat, and the amount of work that needs to be done on that position with your rower grinder, right?
Yeah. Now looks like Ecuador is leading, but everything still can happen till the gate.
So it looks as though they're jibing, but that's just a little glitch. It's nothing. They're not jibing. They're all continuing. They're all on a port tack right now. Trying to just it's really looking like it's a drag race between all these teams. It's just trying to be as fast and to get out in front. They're not attacking each other so much right now. Really looks like everybody's just concentrating on their line and being fast. You see everybody's hunched down. Everybody's on their knees down there. Really, they're trying to do two things. They're trying to place their weight in the correct spot in the boat, and they're also trying to keep that windage down, making sure that you know, if everybody was standing up, it would
Yeah, with the
could slow the boat down.
Yeah, with the lighter wind, you have to also put the weight more forward, closer to the bow. When it's more wind, you go back. So it's important how you work with the weight.
Yeah, so we're seeing that the boats are there now. It's just pretty interesting with the weight. And maybe you can explain to us a little bit more about that. I mean, why is it that now we want the boat to be a little bit heeled, for example?
Because there's not enough pressure on the sails, and when you heel the boat, you feel more pressure in the sails.
So the sails are almost like artificially filled a little bit by having the boat heeling, so they
Yeah.
have the right shape.
And it's really important also to sail fast. When it's less wind, you go up, and you work all the time, go up and down with the pressure, and don't try to slow down the
Right.
boat.
So basically, so yeah, you know, that's called VMG, right?
Yes.
Velocity made good, which is sort of a difficult concept to understand, but basically it's trying to sail. So the faster you sail, the more distance you're going to be sailing, and the whole idea is to be sailing fast with as least distance sailed as possible. And so that's what they're trying to do with this velocity made good idea. And like you said, so they head up a little bit, and that'll give them a little bit more speed. And when they have that speed, then they can just bear away again.
They create the apparent wind, and they can go faster and lower. Downwind and upwind, it's faster and higher.
Exactly, right. So, and this is something that's kind of hard to see. If we can get back onto some of the onboards, maybe if we get a chance to look, you could see the concentration on the skippers, and that's really because that's what they're trying to feel. It's really something that, I mean, it's something that you need to feel.
It's a lot of work for the trimmers. They feel the pressure, and you have to adjust the sails all the time.
There we go. So they got a little bit of pressure. So now they're bearing away and easing off on the sheet. Yeah. And now we'll see it. There we go. Now they're luffing a little bit. They're putting more pressure. We can see, there we go. Perfect right there. They're good communication between what looks to be the Spinnaker. Spinnaker sheath right there that is being held in there, and see those two are really working together. Basically,
the trimmer is helping the helmsman, and
he's telling him
to go higher or lower. I have pressure.
I have pressure. I don't have pressure. So if he has pressure,
no, he just say go lower, higher.
Right, depending on what he feels.
Yes.
On that rope right there. So it's very, very minute changes, but you know, if we look at the differences here in meters, we can see sometimes it's just slowly going up, meter by meter by meter by meter. But on these 1,000+ meter legs, if you can make up a boat length by being able to sail a little bit faster, there's 6 legs. That's 6 boat lengths. That gets you out really, really far out in front. So. Really interesting to see all this work. And then obviously these guys are trying to make the boat go fast, and then you have the tactician, which is trying to place the boat in the pressure, right?
Yes.
Where there's the wind. So here we go. So we're going back down now here to we are on leg 2. Out of 6 legs, there's another 220 meters to go. And we should see them now. Oh, look at that. They're still all together after this. So really very close racing here. We should now see them go between the 2 gates. It'll be interesting to see which gates they will go to. Are they going to sort of go on the right-hand gate or on the left-hand gate? A little bit difficult to figure out.
Depends on the wind shift and where they see more pressure.
Yeah.
They're going on the right.
So apparently they're going on the right-hand side. Oh, don't put that Spinnaker in the water. If that Spinnaker gets wet, it's a lot harder to bring into the boat. But a good drop, early drop by Slovenia. And here we go. We see Ecuador also with a pretty early drop. So they're playing it safe. We saw them safe having a safe start, not being too early. They're dropping their kites pretty early. We see that for everybody.
Now the
I was
Slovenia
expecting Lithuania to drop it maybe a little bit later, but better to drop it early and make sure you get a good drop than dropping it late and risking it all, or having it fall into the water and such. So here we go. We're going back up now for our second upwind leg of our. This is race number 3. So this is the first race that we're having today. And here we go, Team Lithuania. Everybody is getting back up to windward, putting that weight out there, hiking out, making sure that boat's going fast. So pretty close between the first and the third place. We've got 30 seconds, 29 seconds. So it's a very, very compact right now. We see that the teams are heading off to the right-hand side. Interesting.
Slovenia is positioning themselves between the boat and Mark. For sure, the Ecuador was closer to them, so that's why they are going with them on the right side.
Yeah,
but it's hard with the 3 boats, one go on the left, one on the right.
Yeah, it's always really difficult to be able to. I mean, what do? Do you stay in the middle? Do you play your own game? Do you cover one boat or the other?
Yeah, firstly you cover the boat that's closer to you, and then it's good to watch also the wind.
Yeah, and you see here now we have 2 boats that are going off onto the right. It looks like Ecuador is discussing. They're looking backwards. They're trying to figure out what's happening. Probably saying something like, "Look, we're not alone here."
Maybe they are watching their speed, how they are going.
The other boats are going.
Yes, how they are, if they are faster or going higher.
Yeah. I think that's probably probably a very good idea. I mean, we saw really Slovenia having a really they are fast and they are sailing high. So it'd be good for Ecuador to be able to sort of match them. It looks like Ecuador today really making. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Ecuador. They've made some bold moves. They went off to the right hand side and they managed to get themselves back into the game. But
they showed also yesterday they are really fast, upwind and also downwind. Everybody's they are really good teams.
Yeah, they are really good teams. I think Ecuador probably has the team with the least amount of Olympic medals and the Olympic experience,
but they are still good.
Yeah, that sort of makes them what I call the underdog, right? And and I like the underdogs.
But you
I
know,
love it because I mean I like your team as well. Don't get me wrong, but you always sort of you expect Slovenia to be out in front.
But actually, it's totally different. Sailing, Olympic sailing, and this. When you change the boat, for me, it was like starting at the beginning. You know some things, but it's different.
Okay, so tell us a little bit more about that. That's interesting.
But for 70, it's good that we have 3 sails. That's a good start. You know, the tactics and everything, but on every boat it's different, I think. Mm-hmm. And you still have to learn new things, how to trim the sails. And even before in the Olympic sailing, we were always learning new things on different sea. Every time was different, and that's what.
So you're telling me you went to
sailing.
the Olympics and you were still learning?
Yes, you are learning all the time. That's why sailing is not boring. Only when you wait for the wind.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. I think that's probably there. And there's so many different types of boats and so many different types of sailing. Whether you be racing or just sailing, just to have fun, sailing with your family. Whether you be shipping containers around the world or things like that. There's so much different types of sailing here. Obviously, we are in racing, but it's interesting that you say that. So the boats they have 3 sails, a keel, etc. But I mean, what's
some things
different
are
is
the same, but it's different with 9 people on the boat. But what I like about this boat, it's still that it's a lot of action, with the light wind, and that's what's similar maybe to the Olympic sailing. Mm.
It's kind of crazy because you have so many people on this boat. You guys are 9 people sailing on this boat, and it's everyone's got their own job.
Yeah.
And they have to and they're constantly doing it. Here we go with a little tack now from Team Ecuador. There are so many things here. The guy who's releasing the windward sheet, the other guy who's pulling it in, the grinders, the tacticians, doing the mainsail. Here we go now with Slovenia doing the same thing. Oh, look at that. That is so fast. That jib is just set. There we go. I love to see that. I love to see that when the whole team just comes up together and they gives them that little extra pump and they get that little extra speed.
Great boat handling.
Yeah, boat handling right there. And you can see that also in the downwind. These guys, they're tall guys. Everybody on your team is quite tall. It's quite funny to see the difference between the Slovenians
I'm
and
almost the tallest.
and Ecuador.
Ecuador tacking.
So they've had to tack exactly
couldn't.
because Slovenia tacked right in front of them, and
And
so
they
they were
couldn't.
giving them some bad air, some disturbed wind, and so it's better to tack twice than
Then
it is to sail for a long time. Especially, we see here that they're also inside the ley line. So a very good tactical move for Slovenia to be able to get Ecuador to sort of a small tacking duel. For Ecuador. Now let's see what's going to happen with Lithuania. Or are they going to...
They're really close.
Yeah, they're very close. So is Lithuania going to attack just under Slovenia and try to have Slovenia attack again? Or what's going to happen here? Because there are different options. If we see Lithuania attacking just underneath Slovenia, they could potentially... it looks like Slovenia is going to cross out in front.
Yeah.
No problem. There we
No
go.
problem, yeah.
So,
They're going
right.
to the right ley line.
So they're going to the right ley line. So now what we'll have to see is what's going to happen with Slovenia when they
Tacking.
tack. There we go.
Good
Yeah.
tacting decision.
Good tactical decision. Yeah, don't let your adversaries, don't let them go. Try to always stay between your opponent and the windward mark. There's still 700 meters to go here, so we've gone about 3/4 of the way, or maybe 2/3. It's interesting here to see what's happening because things are happening very quickly. We'll go with Lithuania that's coming back.
They are on the ley line,
Now
I think now.
And Slovenia attacking just underneath them. That's what I was just talking about. Being in a very powerful position right now. Slovenia is in a very, very powerful position because they do have some windward wind shadowing that they're projecting now on Lithuania, and it's right now it's going to be very, very difficult for Lithuania. I think for the time being, they could still stick in there, but
at the beginning, but later.
But we see that they're bearing away, they're bearing down. Slovenia is going into their high mode. They know, psychologically.
They know they're fast.
They know they're fast,
Yeah,
and they
that's
know
good.
they're positioned well. So now Lithuania basically they're sort of stuck there because they're now getting to the windward mark. They don't really have any place to go, and they don't want to attack again because they'll just lose too much distance
with
to
every
equator.
tack in this light wind.
Yeah, tacking always costs a lot of time.
Yeah.
But it's looking like they're managing to stay there. It's looking...
I don't know if they are over the ley line. I can see the mark.
we can't see the mark, so I'm guessing they're over ley line. I'm guessing the mark is just behind
Or maybe
the
not.
mainsail of Lithuania. Oh, no,
no,
it's
in
over
front,
there on
in
the
front
right.
there.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Wow, look at the difference. We can see really here the difference as those two teams are very close to the wind. They're really battling each other right now. There's a big battle going on between Slovenia and Lithuania. We can see right there, and that's really explains it because Lithuania is just hanging in there.
Yeah, but it's still a long way to the mark, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive that they can actually hang in there. They're having to sail. You see that now they're dropping down because they're sailing very high, but
And
slow.
go a little bit slower, yeah.
Yeah. And Slovenia is just loving it. This is perfect to them. They can keep their speed.
But they're still close. There is still one downwind.
Yeah. Two more downwinds.
Two more.
2 more downwinds.
Oh.
So we'll see what's happening here. It doesn't look like we've had any course change. I saw that there was a yellow mark up top, so it looks like the wind is pretty stable. It has maybe a little bit of a 5-degree shift, but it doesn't look like they've changed. Because if they do change the course, then we have a different. First of all, the race committee will tell the boats that the course has been changed when they get down to the gate, and then the windward mark also changes in color and turns into that pink mark. It looks like, from what I saw, it was yellow. There it is. Yeah, so it's yellow. So we're still on the same. It's good news. That means that the wind is stable in direction and also in strength. We're aiming for 50 minutes. 45 to 50 minutes is the timeline that we're trying to aim for in terms of length overall. Here we see we're at 30 minutes, 23 seconds. So maybe we'll have it shortened. We'll see what they decide to do, or whether they decide we might go a little bit longer. Pretty interesting. Now here comes the raising of the Spinnaker, and we're about to see a whole lot of action that's going to happen real quick here. So here we have instructions given by the skipper in the back right there. Here we go. They're turning down right now, and we see some action. We see some legs jostling around, but it's because they're pulling really hard. Oh, get that line right there. Watch out, guys. What's happening? Being in the back is actually a little bit easier to see what's happening, because when you're in
the front, you don't know what's going on in the back.
Yeah, it's really hard.
Yeah.
You're concentrating on doing your job, and you gotta make sure you're looking at what you're doing. So here we go. Slovenia, Lithuania, Ecuador. 13 seconds only between the first 2 boats. And a little bit longer for Ecuador, which is in the back. Looked like they chose the right side, and they were going quite fast. It just looks like the others tacked on top of them. Tactically, they got taken out. We are on leg 4, so this is our second downwind. And here we go again. Here we go. This we see the concentration. See, everybody's looking backwards right there, figuring out what the others are doing. Are they going to attack
also
them?
For the wind.
And the wind, of course. Yeah, because the wind. I mean, most of you sailors, you know this, but maybe for the general public, what's really interesting about the downwind, and you can't forget this, is that the wind is actually coming from behind the boats. So as perhaps new wind is coming, or what we call puffs, the first boats that will actually get that new wind are the boats that are in the back. So right now
that's
it's
why
Ecuador.
Important to go fast into the puff and then go down.
And then go down fast into the puffs, yeah. And as soon as you get that pressure, then you can go down again, like we were just saying earlier. So before you're sort of artificially trying to make your boat go fast, and when the wind does hit, when you get that new wind, that puff that comes in, then you take that advantage and you bear away and you try to shorten the distance to the leeward mark as much as possible. And so right now, the most advantaged ones here are, Ecuador, because if there is some new wind, they're the first ones that are going to get that wind, and hopefully they can get back to.
But in this light wind, it's difficult, I think.
It's definitely
maybe
hard.
With 20 knots puff.
They'd need a really good puff. Yeah, I agree. But we'll see what happens. Let's take a look here at the distance between the leader and second place, 47 meters. It looks to be stable. Got another 1,500 meters, a little less now, to the leeward gate, and we see the concentration here, and you see there. they're talking, and we see also we've got some spectator boats. I'm not sure if they're spectator boats, but
No,
we do
I
have
don't
some
think so.
other people that are out there
Maybe they
on
are
the
far
lake.
away.
So yeah, they're far away. That could influence. Here we
And
go
they
with the
jibing.
jibe. Let's take a look at this jibe.
Yeah.
So what's
They
interesting?
wanted to
very
disturb the
s-
Slovenia team.
Yeah, very smooth jibe. Taking it easy. Now let's see if we can get some of that boat handling. Let's see if everybody goes up together or not. Yeah. Not really. Oh, we hoping to see a really nice big pump off of that behind that jibe. And what are tell us a little bit about what are the rules about pumping? Because pumping is allowed in certain circumstances.
Yeah, in the 470 we had also the pumping flag, and when it was more than 10, 12 knots, and then you can pump all the time, but before only on the maneuvers. You can do just one pump.
Okay, so you do attack, and then you can do one
just
pump.
one, yes,
Yeah.
not
That's it.
more.
Okay, right. And so, because it's kind of special in the 470 class, right? You have that pumping flag. So, in some other classes, they say you can only pump once per wave.
Yes, downwind, yes.
And then, so is that the same thing in the 470 class? I'm not a 470 sailor.
When we have the pumping flag,
Yeah.
no, we pump all
Oh,
the
you
time.
just pump all the time. You can
Yeah,
pump as many times.
yes.
Okay. It's quite funny because pumping is actually it seems like it's
It's important to go on the wave down and pump in the right time. You
yeah.
know, not
Otherwise
all
you
the- yes.
lose. Otherwise
yes,
you
yes,
lose
yes,
speed.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
It's not just a question of the more I pump, the faster I go. No, you have to have the right rhythm,
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
and you have to work also with the waves. Obviously here they're very very little waves.
No waves, actually.
Maybe if we see a little bit more wind later on, we will get some waves, and they can sort of start to use a little bit the waves. But these are
But here on the
these
lake,
SSL
it's
47s. They're pretty big boats. So, as a matter of fact, let's talk a little bit about these boats. They've got an overall length of about 15 meters, so that's 51 feet. Let's see here, displacement. 3.7 tons. Metric tons, so that's 8,160 pounds. So it's actually a pretty light boat. 3.7 tons for 15 meters. That's not bad. These are fully carbon boats, so
Really nice.
carbon hull, carbon mast, carbon boom. Everything is made out of carbon on these boats. So what's really interesting about that is that it makes for a very stiff boat. And look at the amount of adjustments that he'll be doing on that Spinnaker sheet, and that's very little for such a big boat, and
but
it
with
makes
the light
such
wind,
a
yeah.
big difference.
Yeah, but they have to work all the time, and when it's more wind, for sure, with the puffs you can lose more, ease more.
Yeah, you can ease more when you have a little bit stronger wind. And,
Yeah.
And it's also same thing when they're going upwind. They're always trimming as well, right? When they're
Yes,
going upwind.
and watching for the puffs also,
Yeah.
to be prepared to ease the sails,
And the jib track and making sure they're always working.
to adjust the sails all the time, yes.
Yeah.
Depends on the conditions.
So that's why these onboards are just so fascinating, because you could really tell what's happening. I guess if you look from outside, it just doesn't seem like there's much happening, but there are so many things that are happening, and every person has their own job, and you could tell also a lot by like, for example, see the amount of turns, the amount of times he's gone around that main winch. He's only got two turns around there. The rope is only going twice around the winch, and so that just lets you know it's very light. If there were more, if you were to go 3 or 4 or 5 wraps around it, then it would be a little bit stronger conditions. So we could tell a lot about what's going on by just looking inside these boats and presenting to you the crews that are really sailing these boats. Very nice picture here. with Team Slovenia in the background, Lithuania right here in front. Oh, looks like they're going for a jibe right now. A simultaneous jibe, so
They're on the ley line.
yeah, a faster jibe there for Slovenia, which managed to get that Spinnaker across in full quite a ways before the others. So here we go. Now they're putting up their putting up the jib, and they're probably going to be taking in that jib sheet, setting up the jib sheet for when they jibe. Let's see what's going on here, what they decide to do.
I think they are going to the right gate.
Go to the right gate. Here we
Yes.
go. Come on. That was a very nice drop. They're a little bit away from, but I think maybe this is
No,
the
no,
camera
yeah.
angle. Yeah, here we go.
Very
No,
cool.
it's a very nice finish. We could see the reflection of the buoy against those golden hulls. Just they're having a little bit more trouble on that boat right now. It looks like the drop went a little bit slower. Slovenia, we saw them with a little bit of a faster jibe. Come on, you guys, stay in there, stay concentrated. Slovenia just out in front, and when you're out in front, you've got that, you've got that confidence level, which is right up there, and
Yeah, you can
they're sailing
control the
really
others.
well. Yeah.
It's easier to be in the front.
Yeah, it's always. Yeah, when you're in the front, you choose where you want to go. You can stay between your opponents. You don't, you can play the puffs. However, if you've got some very good opponents in the back, they can sometimes
they're
make
fast, yeah.
they can make some moves, and maybe you can't control them because you've got 3 other boats that you're controlling. If you're sailing within a fleet or something like that. So here we go. We're back up to. We are going one last time. This is the last time we'll be going back upwind. And it looks like we have a Charlie minus course at 0.7 miles instead of 0.9 nautical miles right now. So, and it has shifted right slightly. So we should be seeing now that orange marker that we were talking about. What's interesting about this marker when we go up is now we will no longer have the offset mark, so we will no longer have that dog leg, which means as soon as they get to that windward mark, they can just
Hoist.
bear away and hoist.
Yes.
And we've seen some pretty epic epic things going on, and noticeably in the first qualifying session that was going on. So it's interesting here that, like we said, a Charlie minus, so it's a little bit of a shorter course. Maybe it's because the wind has dropped down a little bit. It doesn't look like it from this picture. It looks like they're just cruising. Have some nice wind. And it's shifted slightly to the right. So right now we've got Slovenia, Lithuania, which are right now on top of the leaderboard, with Slovenia slowly but surely staying out in front here in this race number 3 of our qualifying series, the second round of our qualifying series. We've got 91 meters, 90 meters between the 2 boats. That's the distance if we're calculating to the mark. So that's the distance laterally speaking. That's not how far they are in front of one another. It's how far they are to the windward mark. And we see that small little white boat right there, that motor boat in the middle of your screen. That's our camera boat, and they're the ones that are bringing you all these wonderful shots. We've got some amazing guys flying these drones. I mean, to be able to get in so close to the boats with the drone. There's the drone right there. Really trying to give you as much action as we can, seeing all these guys and making sure we're getting all these close-ups, because really this is all about the teams. This is what the SSL Gold Cup is all about. It's not about the boats. It's about the teams. It's about making sure that everybody gets the opportunity and the chance. Everybody's sailing on the same exact boat, The boats are provided by the organization. They're looked after by the organization, so every single boat is exactly the same. Each line is the same color on each place on every single boat. So really, we have identical boats. And so it's really not a question about who's got the better boat. It's really about which team, which country out of the 56 nations that are here is going to be able to be out in front. And that's really what makes this this so innovative, and to be going on these types of boats makes it really interesting. It's a very tactical game. 9 people on a boat. A lot of work for everybody. So it's really great to be able to see these teams. These teams here, like we said, they're all trying to get themselves qualified for the 32nd of finals series, which will be in November. And so really, we've also got the SSL ranking. Which is something which is totally new, just kind of like the ATP, like the ranking that you have in tennis. The SSL now has been working for now several years on their SSL ranking. Most of you sailors, I've met some sailors that didn't even know they were on that SSL ranking. So go check out the ranking. You might be in there. If you've participated in any big regatta, you will for sure be in there. And it's really interesting. You could figure out where you are in comparison to the others all across the world. You can compare yourself to your fellow countrymen and see where you stand. So it's really pretty cool, and this is the first time that this has ever happened. We've had rankings within different classes, but we've never had a ranking which allows everybody to be able to be on the same sort of level playing field. And this is how these teams are made up of. Basically, it's going to be the top 10 guys and girls of each nation. Is
the best sailors.
Yeah, the best sailors. They're automatically qualified to come in there, and then they get to meet with the captain, and then they have a couple days of trials and see how it goes, and see if maybe their schedule also works out, because a lot of these sailors are very, very busy.
That's what's exciting here, that we can compete with the best sailors in the world. For me, Olympic sailing, this was the most exciting thing, to go fight with the best in the world, and here also from other classes. So
yeah, and it's just amazing because especially when we're going to start going up into the finals, we're going to see some of these really hot shots, some of these guys that a lot of people look up to you and look up to Tina and for what you've done, in your country and stuff. And I know that you guys are looking up to some of these other heroes of sailing. When we talk about some of the Brazilians, for example, Robert Scheidt, which is the captain of his team. 14 Olympic medals or something like this. Just amazing. So it'll get more and more exciting as we get onto it. But let's just take one thing at a time. Let's concentrate here on what's happening. This is the last windward leg of this race, number 3. We've got 390 meters. It looks like the wind has picked up a little bit. I have the impression the boats are going a little bit faster.
The Slovenia are just controlling the others.
Is that it? Just controlling, just making sure they're staying between their opponent and the mark? There we go, team handling. You see that? Everybody going up at the same time. Really interesting to look at these boats. What a beautiful look at that backdrop, the scenery. Just magnificent, absolutely beautiful to be able to see these boats sailing here on this lake. They do look amazing. I agree. With that golden covering on them is just makes them look absolutely wonderful. And it's funny because you can see them from far away. You can see them really. All of a sudden, you'll see something shiny really from far away. And of course, they get very noticed with those big black sails. Let's see what's happening here. We are 200 meters away from the weather mark. I think it should be pink. Hopefully, I am not mistaken. If that is the case, then there it is. They're going to have to bear away, and this could be interesting. I mean, I'm sure here Slovenia's got it in the bag, but we've seen some, anything can happen when you're trying to do a real quick maneuver like that, trying to.
They're still close. Ecuador.
There we go.
is-
There's that pink mark, and they're still very close. So one mistake from
Come
Slovenia.
on, do a nice host. Kasper, the bowman, the youngest guy.
There you go. They're ready. Let's take a look at this here. I think they're just going to take their time, do a nice hoist. Look at the speed of those guys
so
hoisting.
strong, huh?
Everybody. And even mid-bow right there, giving a hand. Spinnaker is set. Jib is coming down. Oh, they're having a little bit of a hard time getting that Spinnaker up. It's going up. It's going up. Okay, not bad. Jib is down. Good. They haven't lost any time. They're actually very, very close to them. So they're in a very good position now to be able to attack Slovenia. See what's going on. And then we still have Ecuador, which is getting to the windward mark. Here we go. They're slightly further back. I do want to see what it's going to look like as they're going around the mark. Oh, is it looking like they're not going to make the
What's going on?
ley line? Are they going to have to do a double tack?
What are they doing?
Oh, what's happening? Oh no, they just made it. Okay.
Ah,
Oof.
okay.
That was close. That was really close. Here we go. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to be able to do that. They've almost had to do a double tack, and now they have to put the Spinnaker up. So taking a little bit of time to get that Spinnaker up. They weren't even sure if they were going to make the mark, so it's a little bit. It's understandable that takes them a little bit longer to get that up. It's not going to help their cause to catch up to the others.
Yeah.
So they are a minute and 6 behind. They're not really catching up right now. Slovenia and Lithuania are going out there. We still have one more race after this. We'll have race number 4. So we'll see what the maybe we have a provisional overall right now. I don't know if we have that graphic, but if we do, maybe we'll get to see it a little bit later. Here we go, concentration. It's great to see these guys just looking behind. Notice how no one's talking. No one's talking. Very concentrated. It's very quiet on that boat. What sort of things can you hear when they're talking?
On the
when
boat?
you're downwind, yeah.
The trimmer, the offset trimmer, it's calling the puffs, and the trimmer is helping the helm to go higher and lower. The others, they're not talking, I think. Not much. But I remember that sailing in the lighter wind for me was much more stressful.
Yeah. What do you think is stressful? Is it just the
If
the
you
fact
are
that-
really close, if they get the puffs first, they can come really closer, and you have this feeling, and it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Everything.
Here we go with the projected results we were just talking about before. So that's right now, as it stands, Slovenia with 8 points, Lithuania 6, Ecuador 4. We still have one more race today, so they could still place in a couple more points and make that gap even bigger. But let's not forget, tomorrow is Golden Day.
Yeah.
Double the points, and so really.
But also today, every point counts. So
Yeah, every point counts for sure. But tomorrow they'll count
even more.
even more, count twice as much. So yeah, we were just talking about the concentration and what you're saying on board, and really everybody is very quiet because the two, the guy that's working the Spinnaker and the helmsman, they really need to be able to communicate together, and then maybe you'll have on your boat. Is it rather more of the tactician, which is going to be calling the puffs and things like that, or is it going to be number 1 perhaps? The bowman.
No, here is the offset trimmer. going usually. And
So explain to us the offset trimmer.
helps the trimmer on the easing on the
Right, so he's the one that
tacks
eases
and,
the sheets
yes,
when you tack.
Yes,
and,
yes.
Okay. So he'll be.
And the trimmer is working all the time with the kite sheet.
Yeah, so he doesn't have any time to be looking at the what's going on outside the boat and
Yeah,
on,
just
on the water.
looks, yes.
He's only
And on
he's
the-
very
on-
concentrated on his tail only. So there we go. So that's already that's already three people that are needed in order to be able to go just to sail the kite
And
to
also the
make boat
trimmer
go.
is helping the. Also the
main-
grinder is helping the trimmer.
As well, that's
Yeah.
right, because if there's too much wind, so that's 4 people right there, and then you've got somebody on the main sheet
And
of the
everybody.
main sail, so
Yeah.
that's 5. So
But everybody's moving more forward with the lighter wind.
Yeah.
Now we can see everybody are in the front on the boat.
yeah, the idea of that is to pick the back of the boat up,
Up, yes.
and to have less drag, kind of like on a race car. The less drag you have, the faster the car will go, and it's sort of the same thing on these sailboats. If you can pick the back up, that skirt in the back of the boat, and the less it's touching the water, the less it'll drag through the water. So all the guys in the back right there that we're seeing that are sitting right there, these guys, they're all really working on making sure that that boat's going fast, and the others will be working sort of on the positioning of the
Yeah,
boat,
yeah.
the heel of the boat. And obviously this is going to change, right? When the wind changes, when we get a little bit more wind, like for example, if we were to have a lot of wind, then we'd place everybody in the back,
Yes.
because we could have the front of the boat, dive into the waves, and that would slow everything down. And
Yeah, and the stronger wind, maybe the bowman and the floater, they don't have much to do, and they go on the back after hoisting.
yeah.
And
Yeah, we sometimes see them running all the way to the back
yeah,
and staying,
and then on the jibe.
and then running all the way
Yes,
back to
in
the front.
front.
So they're not very wide, these boats, but they are quite long.
Yeah.
They're only 2.8 meters wide, so for a 15-meter long boat, that's a pretty narrow boat.
I don't like to be in the front. Where is the bowman? It's
Yeah,
with the big waves,
yeah,
it's hard.
It's very, very, it's very narrow up there.
Yeah.
There we go, and now what you just saw right there was the right there holding on to the main sheet. He's just making sure that those battens are passing in the sail, making sure that they're not getting stuck in the wrong way. Here we go. So we are now getting to the finish line here. We see the finish line is between that checkered mark, and it looks still very close after all this racing. Almost an hour's worth of racing, 57 minutes here. Congratulations, there we go. They made it.
Slovenia.
Your team
Great
has
job.
made it. Another 3 points onto the counter, so that is very nice. And Lithuania is coming through right now. Very nice. Very good job. Just only a couple seconds after
they gain a
Slovenia.
little
Look,
bit.
they're very happy about
yeah.
the work they've
Yeah.
done right there. And they can be. They are very, very close to Slovenia. So I think right now, really, they need to be able to show that they can be out there in front as well, and to put on a good show, making sure that they let Team Slovenia know, we're here to fight, and you guys, you've got
Yeah,
some work
they're
in your
really
hands.
motivated.
Yeah.
They showed that yesterday on the starts.
Yeah, yesterday we didn't film what was going on the water yesterday. So this is the first race that we are filming today for this qualifying series, and we'll be live today, and we're also live tomorrow. Here we go with third place, Team Ecuador. which is slowly but surely making their way down. They've got some good speed right there. And just making it, there you go. You can see the finishing line is between that blue flag and that checkered white and black buoy, which is right back there. And there we go. They've just managed to cross with 1 minute and 30 seconds behind. They were about 1 minute behind on the windward mark, so they lost a little bit more time on that leeward on that downwind. Sorry, on that downwind leg right there. So there we go. That was race number 3 that we just had right there. We will be racing. We will have another race starting very soon, as a matter of fact. We'll see what the race committee is telling us, how much time they're going to be placing between each race. Oh, looking like we have is that the Lima flag right there? So that flag right there is they are asking for some time in order to be able to change something or to recuperate something. There we see Marco. Looks like we're going to get Marco. That's going to talk to us very soon. It looks like he's going on the Slovenian boat. Here we go with race results like we just saw right now. So they put 3 more points. Slovenia put 3 more points on the board. Lithuania put 2 more points on there, and Ecuador 1 more point. So we should be able to see now the provisional, probably the provisional overall that we saw earlier on the top left-hand side of your screen. And are we going to get Marco?
I'll tell you when we're ready.
Oh, here we go. Marco, I can hear you. Marco, can you hear us? Hey there.
Oh, good. Perfect. Yeah, I can
all
hear you guys. So I'm here with Vasily, here from Team Slovenia. They just come away with the win, so congratulations. Great performance by you guys. You got the lead right away. You stayed in front. You must be proud of your team.
Yes, well, we got the lead, then we lost it, and then got it again and lost it. Yeah, at the beginning it looked an easier race. We were ahead, and usually when you are ahead it's a bit easy, but they were coming back. The guys were coming back, every upwind, every downwind, getting close. So we have to switch from one team to the other team and try to control and try to sail our own race. So it was really, really tight until the last bit. So yeah, extraordinary race, I think. We enjoyed it. We enjoyed these stress situations, of course. And you can see the other guys are really well prepared. All the teams are doing a great job. They're not doing any mistake at all. So it's really down to centimeters, millimeters on who will be first or second or third.
And of course, a lot of clean sailing from your team. And so how were you always able to stay in the pressure and control?
Well, that was always a battle, this race, because once you are a lead, obviously you have that in mind to control a little bit, to keep the lead. But on the other side, you want to sail as you want. So there was a consistent battle. As soon as we had a bigger advantage, obviously you switch to just sailing. And then when you close, then you try to play some tricks. So this race was so complex. So we were changing these things every minute. Every minute was changing from, okay, oh, we're good lead, and then, oh, we lost to them. So we had to all the time compromise, all the time adapt. And the team did a great job with that, because I was calling some hard maneuvers, some hard things, and yeah, the guys did an excellent job.
And so what can we expect from you in this next race? Strategy change or?
Well, first of all, the start went much better than the day before, so that makes it a bit easier. Yeah, hope to have the race same as this one. Exciting. I hope the guys who are watching having fun. We're having a lot of fun here on the boat. A lot of drama, a lot of stress, but yeah, we try to put another win. Obviously, it's a bit tricky, a bit shifty, a bit pressure, but this is sailing, eh?
And obviously you have the Lima flag up now. You have a small issue?
Yes, we broke the kite, so we need to repair the kite, so we're able to use it 100%.
Well, thank you so much, and good luck for your next race. Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Marco. that was really interesting. I'm here with Veronica Mazzarol, and thank you for having been with me this commentating this race. I'm sure it's great to see your team captain Vasily.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Was a different experience for me. I'm always used to be on the boat, but it's also interesting from a different point of view to see the race.
Yeah, it's anyway. Thank you very much for being with us. It was great to have you here, and just to remind everybody, you were 2 times in the Olympics. You had a 5th place and a 6th place, and not to mention the World European Championships that you've won, and many other regattas. We're not going to go over them all. There are so many. You have so many good results. Here we go with the provisional overall right now. So here we go with the 8 points for Slovenia, Lithuania 6 points, Ecuador 4th. So we're seeing sort of a little bit of a trend here between Slovenia and Lithuania. Yet anything can still happen. We've got race 4, which is probably going to get started here as soon as they fix their Spinnaker problem on Team Slovenia, and then we'll get over to racing on with the second race of the day, which will be race number 4. So. And before now, let's take a look. Let's take a little look at what happened, and we have a race replay that's ready for you guys. And let's just take a look at what we just saw here with a wonderful race replay. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. That was the review of race number 3 that you just saw right here. We have somebody new, which is joining me here in the commentary booth. We have Karolis Yanulonis. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to be here.
Thank you very much for coming, and will be able to commentate this second race of the day, which will be race number 4 of the second qualifying series.
Yeah, excited to do it.
Good.
Hope it starts soon.
Yeah, I think we've got about 10 minutes until we get this underway. So before we get back out to racing, here's some team comparisons. here are the three teams that were sailing and are going to be sailing. So starting off with Ecuador, team name is La Tri. They're SSL ranked number 38, and their captain is Julio Velez. Following that, we have Team Lithuania, the Ambers. They are ranked SSL ranked number 34, and the team captain is Gintare Scheidt. And our last but not least, Slovenia, Team Krapani 1860, SSL ranked number 26, and their captain Vasily Zbogar, which you just heard earlier. And we are also going to hear him again. He gave us a small interview earlier this morning, and so here we go with a small interview from Vasily.
Yeah, well, I think sailing-wise, we did quite okay. I'm quite happy with the team and how we do all the maneuvers and hoist and drops, and how we tactically sail the race. But definitely not happy with the starts. We have two very average and bad starts. So definitely in a fleet like this, when all the boats are very close, very similar speeds, we can't afford anymore to have bad starts. We need to be in the front line. And that also will make our sailing a bit easier and less stressful. Well, yes, the teams are very equal. We realize that some small mistakes can drop you a place or two. So I'm sure it's going to be very exciting racing again. And today is probably still a bit easier day than tomorrow, as tomorrow are double points. And I'm sure it's going to be until the last race we will not know which team is qualified, which not. So, but that I think it's probably the first time in sailing that in the big boats you have this fantastic team, a lot of good sailors, and the racing is so close that makes sailing interesting.
So here we go. Welcome back. So that was a very interesting little interview with Vasily. Before we continue, we're going to take a look at the team lineup right now. So here we go with team lineup with Team Ecuador. Team Ecuador right here, and we have the captain and the main trimmer Julio Velez. We also have the trimmer Sebastian Herrera, who is a lightning specialist. We have a lot of people on this boat which have been sailing lightnings and sunfish, and so basically we have a lot of sailors on Team Ecuador which come from small boat sailing. Interesting that we now put them all on one big boat. Let's keep going on here with our team, your team, Team Lithuania.
Yeah.
So maybe you could tell us a little bit who is captain?
Yeah, we have our captain Gintare Scheidt. She's a very well-known sailor, mostly from laser radial. She's been in Olympics several times, got a medal, silver one. So that's a huge accomplishment for Lithuanian sailors.
I think it's the highest accomplishment that you've had in sailing in Lithuania, I believe.
Yes, if we consider Olympics, that's definitely the highest we have. We have several world champions, European champions, but only one Olympic medal. So this is the top notch for us.
Top notch for you guys, yeah. So here we go. That's your team, Lithuania, right there. And we keep going on with Team Slovenia. And we have Vasily as a tactician, which is in the back of the boat there, which we just had an interview with him. And then we have Ian Lah, which is at the helm. We have also the main trimmer, as we were saying earlier, which was the trainer to Tina Mrak. And also to Veronica, which was just in the studio with us over. Veronica, you can see her down on the bottom right inside. Mazzarol, she was just commentating just before you were in here, and so that is your team Slovenia right now. We're back onto the water. I believe that we have the same amount of wind as before. We are 4 minutes and 25 seconds away from the start. I'm wondering, I'm guessing that Team Slovenia have been able to fix their kite. We saw that they were asking, they had put up the Lima flag earlier, and that is a yellow and black checkered flag asking for a small delay from the race committee. So it looks like they're back and sailing. There is the captain tactician back there, number 10, Vasily. There we go. They're getting pumped up, ready. 3 minutes and 50 seconds to go before we get this race number 4 underway. The second race of the day should be second and last, I believe, race that will be happening today. So really important before we get into the battles of tomorrow. Tomorrow being the golden day. Tomorrow where the points will count double.
Yeah, it's especially important to get as many points as you can today, so you have at least a little bit of leeway for tomorrow, because the forecast is very uncertain, and you know, the light wind sailing is very tricky, so anything can happen tomorrow.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer, because we've had some really great sailing as teams were here in the beginning of the week and they were practicing a little bit, and now it's race day and we're getting these really difficult light conditions. But I guess that's sailing. I've noticed that several times. Also, competing, every time you practice, you get good conditions in a day of racing. It's something you've never seen before. So this is, this is obviously, having spent a lot of time out on the water, all these guys really have been used to different sort of conditions. But it's true that this lake sailing makes it more difficult. Light conditions, it's hard on the nerves. And it's not easy.
Definitely. You know, boat handling, it's way much easier in the lake, in light wind, but the conditions itself, shifts, puffs, gusts, and your competitors, it makes it way more nerve-wracking, so, you know, it balances out.
Yeah, it is big air, lots of wind. Sailing with lots of wind makes it more difficult in terms of being able to do the maneuvers correctly and everything. But also when you get into the light conditions, it's so easy to mess things up and then to lose your speed. Anyway, let's concentrate here a little bit about the racing. We've got 1 minute and 45 seconds before we get into it. So now, we saw on the last start that Slovenia was sort of getting in the middle, getting sandwiched. We had Ecuador, which took a start towards the pin end. It looks as though now everything is changing. It looks as though Ecuador is maybe wanting to get a committee boat start. But anything is still possible. We got 1 minute and 22 seconds until the start here, and teams are really jostling for positions. They're trying to see which team is going where, trying to get the advantage to one team and the other. Here we see the number 1 on Team Ecuador, which is at the very front of the boat, which is telling the team how the distance, time and distance to the line. So we see Ecuador, which is now bearing away, and Slovenia, which is not letting them do that. Slovenia definitely wants to have some room underneath them. It looks as though 50 seconds left to go, and we have Slovenia. Is Slovenia going to get another start right in the middle? It looks like we're getting to sort of having the same thing happen as we had in the first race. Ecuador, which is getting a pin end start, and Slovenia, which is in the middle. Both boats are stopped right now with 30 seconds left to go. On the last start, we saw everybody, which was about 1 or 2 boat lengths behind the line. Let's try to get time and distance a little bit better if we can. 20 seconds left to go. They got to get their speed up right now. We see that they're a little bit slow. There's 15 seconds left to go, and I think your team, Team Lithuania, it looks like, I'm sure they're going to come into the picture right now. They're going to be coming in hot with a lot of speed. There's 5 seconds left to go. Where are they? Here they come. 2, 1, and down goes the flag. Look at that. A lot of speed. Committee start. They definitely have the most amount of speed out of all the teams. We saw... they definitely have the most amount of speed, which is very, very good.
Yeah, especially when the line is so short for the start. You need to have either a lot of speed, so you could just put your nose in front of everybody, or be in a leeward position, which Ecuador was fighting for. And we see they succeeded, but since Lithuania came in with so much speed, it doesn't look like Ecuador is any threat to them.
Yeah, it looks like Ecuador actually were the first ones to cross the line, but they had less speed than Lithuania, and we saw Slovenia getting sort of squeezed out. They were sandwiched. They got sandwiched again, but they didn't have the speed. It's a little concerning right now, but we know that Slovenia is. Here we go. Let's take a look at the replay right here. There we go. Look, Team Lithuania with the amount of speed they have. We saw that they just crossed just after Ecuador, but and then we have Team Lithuania here, which is right in the middle. No, sorry, Slovenia, which is right in the middle, and they're having to attack. They have no other option. They got to get out of there. So let's make it quick, and let's make sure we don't get we don't stay in that bad wind for too long. So they're going off right now to the right hand side of
in positions like this, when you get sandwiched, it's extremely important just to get out of it as quickly as you can, so you can focus on your sailing, get a bearing which tack is favorable, which is not, and sometimes, especially in the bigger fleets, this could be a small advantage that you can play off. So, you get the bearings and you start sailing your race, try to execute your plan. But when it's only 3 boats, every lost meter counts. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah, so we saw them. Now they have, now they've put in 2 tacks. So we see Slovenia now 250 meters almost behind the others. But that's, quite normal to be further behind. They, it's not exactly how they wanted to start this race. It's always a little bit tough when you do a really good race and then to get back into it and really make sure that you're focused and everything. And it's kind of a little bit unfortunate that start sort of made them have to get out of there, do 2 tacks, and they're already a little bit on the back foot. But we saw them; they're a very strong team. They sail very fast and close to the wind, so they're definitely not out of it. I mean, this is only the very beginning. As you see, there are 6 legs, so we will be doing 3 windwards, 3 leewards. So there's still a lot of sailing to be done, and don't count them out because they've been winning races, several races they've won actually out of the 3 that have 3 races that have already happened. They've already won 2 of them. So
yeah, as you mentioned, they're sailing really fast. Despite the conditions, if it's more wind or less wind like today, they're really fast. And, when the top 2 boats are battling it out, then you have a little bit of space for maneuvers just to maybe choose the shift or gust you like. So that could help them come back into the game.
yeah, here we go. So now you see they're only 100 meters back behind it. Before they were 200 and some odd meters behind second. There we go. Look, they're right back into it. Lithuania with a very good tacking duel right there, tacking right on top of Slovenia, because they know they're not worried about Ecuador right now. It's Lithuania versus Slovenia. This is the game. There's Vasily. You can tell he's thinking. You could see that he's trying to figure out what is the best move to make. And right now it seems as though they're staying in that position. They may just not. I'm probably worried that if they tack, that the others are going to attack right on top of them. So let's see what happens here.
Yeah, in these positions, it only matters. Did you push your boat forward enough just to get the clear wind, or did you get covered completely? Looks like Slovenia did got covered, so they had no choice but to tack.
Yeah, they have no choice but to tack. And then we see also, this great boat handling right there with everybody still working, very concentrated on that team. I think that concentration level has just gone up a couple notches here on their... Oh, look at this. Ecuador, which is making the same move on Lithuania, which is tacking right on top of them, which is going to have to... We're going to see Lithuania having to tack over. Very powerful move right there from Ecuador.
Yeah, I think we should expect attack from Lithuania in the next minute or so.
Exactly, which will push them back over towards Slovenia, and then Slovenia, perhaps at that point, will be on a starboard tack. So anything can happen here with a very powerful move made earlier from Lithuania on Slovenia. which could end up by biting them, depending on how this plays out. So this will be really interesting here. Like we said, don't count Slovenia out. They had a little bit of a rough start, but they're right back into it. And here we go. So now let's see what Vasily decides to do here, and tactically what he's planning on doing. I think that obviously they're probably going to keep on going over towards the lane line, towards the boundary.
Yeah, because Lithuania and Ecuador are quite close to the ley line, and if Slovenia attacks and tries to get close to them, and they get too close but they're not in front, then they really have no place to tack and get back to the mark. So it is quite logical to keep going to the right-hand side and expect maybe a shift or a gust there.
Yeah, it's a really tactical game. It's it's like playing checkers, chess, or you're really wanting to keep your options open. And by now going off onto the right-hand side, they're doing that. They're not they're allowing themselves to have some more options as soon as they get up towards the weather mark. And we see now with only 530 meters left to get there, they're getting there slowly but surely, and they're definitely keeping all their options open.
Yeah, and as we saw yesterday, these conditions are so shifty that, even when it's close to the first mark, like 200, 300 meters, anything can happen. You get one good shift and you gain 50, you gain 100 meters. So it's really too early to tell what's going to happen. But as we see, Ecuador and Lithuania are going together. I don't expect any of them to tack and go even higher towards the ley line, as they're basically approaching the mark. So the only question is, when Slovenia attacks, where will they end up?
Yeah, it's a very interesting game right now, and let's not forget we're only on the first leg here, and so basically right now it's really a drag race, trying to stay out in front, trying to and not so much bother the others, but it's to be able to gain a couple meters here, couple meters there, every time. They gain a little bit, then in the long run, I mean you've got six legs to do. So if you can gain a boat length in one leg, then that's 6 boat lengths. So at the end, and that'll definitely make it easier for you to be able to stay out in front. So a lot of concentration. Oh, look at this view! Just looks great. These boats. Everybody hanging out over the side, really getting that righting moment, making sure that boat is nice and straight. And that's just what's amazing about these boats, is that as soon as you'll have a small amount of wind, and everybody's out there hiking, and
it's very important, because the more the boat heels, the more it drifts sideways, and everybody is just trying to hike as much as they can.
Here we go with two tacks right now. We just saw Lithuania just tack. Oh, it's a tough place now for Slovenia. They're down. They're being covered. Ecuador is really right now having the cards are in their hands. They don't really have much of a choice, I think, here. Slovenia, depending on how close they are to the weather mark. It says 175 meters, so they don't really have a choice to be able to tack. I think they're probably going to go into a high mode right now in order to be able to stay with Lithuania. If that is the case, looks like they're going to be able to make it.
But
are they going to have room? Are they going to have room at the mark? I don't think so. I think they'll be. They've got that high. We'll see that they're trying to point really high to get there, but they don't have any speed.
Especially when you're covered, the high mode is so difficult, and it slows the boat really a lot. But it's still sometimes worth to do it. If you make the mark, you avoid attack. So
look
you
at that. So very, very close. Look, they managed to come back. Oh, they're almost head to wind. They're almost head to wind in order to be able to get across that mark. They do weigh 3.7 tons, these boats, metric tons, and so it's obviously they've got some momentum as they get up there, but Look at that. They were just so close to the team in front, and now they've lost a couple points. Now, it's really interesting for Team Ecuador to stay out in front here. It'll be great for them to really have a good result. You know, they definitely need to get out there and to win one. I hope this one is going to be theirs to win. If that is the case, then we'll be going in tomorrow, and everything will be up for grabs again. It's really unbelievable how after now 3 races, and it looks like this 4th race, still anything can happen. It's still anybody's game, and it would be great to see them to win one. That would mean that everybody has at least won one race, which means that we're definitely getting some equal sort of level of sailing all across the field.
Yeah, and with the sailing this close, it's already very exciting. We see the boats always in the same picture. Yeah, sometimes somebody bangs a corner or goes away from everybody else, but in the end, they all come back to within 50 meters. So that's basically nothing. One shift, one gust, and you're back.
Unbelievable, considering the start they had, and at one point they were over 250 meters behind everybody. They are now, there's only 50 meters between each boat. Making it very, very close. Now, the next tactical decision here is going to be when to jibe.
Yeah, the Slovenians, we see they are trying to go lower than the Lithuanians and the Ecuador. So they could have some leeway when the other boats jibe, so they have time to prepare for a jibe and cover them. Or even if they catch up, maybe they could not let them jibe, but for that we need a bit of wind, as bearing down in this light wind, it's very, very difficult.
It's very difficult, yeah. As we were saying before with Veronica, we were talking about exactly those 2 modes of being able to as soon as you're starting to go fast and you got pressure in your sails, to be able to bear away and to go closer to go the least amount of distance away from the from the leeward mark, and these boats having to zigzag their way down because of their asymmetrical spinnakers. It definitely, if they could go in a straight line, that would be ideal, but they have asymmetrical spinnakers, and that's just not possible.
Yeah, and sometimes it pays off to go a bit higher, so you reach another gust or a patch of wind quicker, and even then you have to keep going, because in the lake they don't really drift
go with
down.
A nice job. Oh, but it looks like I'm looking at the grinders, and they're sort of complaining. There was a little bit of a problem. It looks like the pressure is on this boat, and they've just made a small little mistake. We saw the grinders there just stuck. They couldn't actually jibe anymore, so maybe there was some. I think probably the offset. The windward sheet was probably not released or something like that, and they couldn't pull it in the back, and that's really frustrating when you're a leader and for the first time, they've got a good lead now. It's not, they can't be making any mistakes, and I think they're feeling the pressure right now, and that was just a little bit of a mistake. They probably lost a couple meters on that one, so let's hope that doesn't happen again. It'll be interesting, really, to look at them and to see what's happening and see how good they're going to be able to make those maneuvers, especially when they're going to have to drop the kite down at the leeward gate.
Yeah, the pressure is definitely on Ecuador. In these light downwinds, the gusts are coming from the back, and the further you're back, the earlier you get the gust and the wind,
exactly.
And automatically you catch up a little bit. So it's really, really important for the first boats to keep an eye where the wind is.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. The wind is coming from behind. This is the whole point of downwind sailing, is the wind comes from behind. So the first boat to be able to catch the wind right now would be Slovenia. We'll see what's happening with them. They've definitely they've gotten back into the game, but they're not at their usual spot. We'll see what's happening. This is really making things interesting, and it's definitely putting a lot of pressure on Ecuador. Team Lithuania is in second place. All you need is to be in second place, really, because it's the first 2 teams of this that are going to qualify for the 30 seconds of the finals in November. So 2 out of the 3 teams here at the end of the week will be going through. And so that's really what they need to concentrate. I mean, obviously, yes, it would be great to be able to say I am number 1 of this qualifying round, number 2, but really what counts is to be in the top 2.
You're right. And we see teams are fighting for it. The points are so close and the distance is very close. And, when you have 4 teams, it's half of the group that makes it out. When you have 3 teams, it means you could be the only one that didn't make it. So
yeah,
it's
and
extra
then
pressure.
speaking of teams and who are they going to make it and stuff, look at the top left of your screen right there. You've got the projected results. So even though right now Slovenia is in last place on this race number 4, they're still leading overall, and with a small margin over Lithuania and also a small margin over Ecuador. So if tomorrow we go into the golden day where races will count double the points, we could easily see Ecuador coming back to the top of the leaderboard, etc. But let's just calm down here. Let's take it easy. Let's see what's going to be happening here on these next couple of maneuvers. We're very close to the leeward gate, and let's see what happens here with Ecuador. Let's see how good this drop is. They really need this one to be very good, and we'll see if Lithuania or Slovenia takes any risks. So they're going with an early jibe here. They've got 2-3 people in the front making sure that Spinnaker does not go into the water. There we go. So they lost a little bit of speed because they dropped a little bit early, but it's better to lose. Now make sure they don't go around too tight and certainly not touch that mark down there. Good mark rounding. It looks as though they were very quick. Lithuania with a late drop, which is good. And now let's see Slovenia here. Now Slovenia, very good drop right here. A very late drop. Now let's see if they can get a smooth mark rounding. They did a really good one earlier. They need to get as close as they can to that mark and to get out. We saw Ecuador with a smooth mark rounding, but they finished a little bit further, almost a boat length away from the mark. It was a smooth mark rounding, but they didn't finish as close as they could have to that mark. It looks like Slovenia did, and they dropped late, so that should get them a little bit closer to getting back into the game.
Yeah, we see Lithuania took another mark.
Yeah, which makes
Ecuador
a good
and
split.
Slovenia.
So maybe they're seeing something a little bit different. This Lithuanian team is maybe got their eye on something that they're seeing a little bit different. Maybe they're seeing a little bit of pressure. Marco was telling us earlier that there were some clouds on the Jura mountain range, which is behind. Maybe that's the case. Maybe they're still seeing something over there.
And as we saw in the first upwind, the left side
I think we should
I
we should ask Marco if he's seeing anything else out on the water. It looks like more pressure. Marco, can you hear us? Maybe Marco can hear us. If Marco, if you can hear us, butt in anytime you want, buddy. Just let us know what's happening. We were just talking about your clouds this morning.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, perfect. So yeah, actually you were correct. We just got a big rain cloud that passed behind the mountains on the left side of the course. So we have reasonably much more pressure on that left side where we see Lithuania and Ecuador getting out to. I feel like Slovenia kind of chose the middle of the course for the simple fact that they were last and wanted to try something different. Not because there's any particularly extra pressure on this side. And yeah, it looks like we're going to get even some more pressure on the left side since there are some bigger and higher clouds in the background working their way slowly towards the course. And no shift at the moment, only just, good old-fashioned upwind beat.
Okay, great. So we still have those clouds over on the Jura over there that are affecting the race course then?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, we seem to be in a little bit of a lull because a big let's say, batch of clouds just passed. There's a little bit of clear skies, but then some more are coming towards us pretty quickly. They might bring rain, we don't know, but we got our rain jackets on, just in case, you know.
Okay, good news. All right, so we might be seeing a little bit more wind then, huh? A little bit of weather coming through. That's great news. That'll make it even more exciting. So that's great. Yeah, that's all the stuff we can't see. Thank you, Marco, for explaining that, because it's true that we've got some great shots on the onboard here, and it's great to have you out on the water and be able to sort of bring us the global picture. So thanks a lot.
Yeah, happy to be your eyes and ears out here.
Hey, Marco, anytime you want to butt in, you just let us know. We'll be happy to hear what's happening from on the race course.
Of course. Hopefully something screaming.
All right. Well, if it does happen, we'll be waiting for it. But for the time being, we've got 800 meters left to get to the weather mark. Let's see what's happening with this weather, whether that's going to make some big changes or not.
As we can see, probably all the teams are agreeing with Marco. They're all pushing to the left side, and let's see when Lithuania decides to attack, because if the graphics don't lie, they're above the ley line. So basically, anytime they attack, Ecuador will have a choice, either to attack right on top of them or somewhere below them, just to disturb the air. So it's extremely important for Lithuania to keep the clear air, because when you're above the ley line, you don't really have any space to go any higher.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, graphics are what they are, but the guys on that boat, I mean, they know. They're probably attacking right on the ley line right now. So they're definitely going out for that left-hand side and going for that left ley line. So they what's going to make it difficult now is that being on that left-hand ley line and getting up to the weather mark, they're going to have to tack and bear away on a beam reach and make sure they don't lose too much speed. So that's going to be a very interesting move that they're going to have to make in order to make sure that Ecuador, doesn't catch up to them.
Yeah, but it's an interesting move, but I'm sure all these teams have trained for it and done it many times. So it's a bit out of the ordinary, but I'm sure they won't have any problems with it. The only problem I could see is when all the boats are on the left ley line and you are the last boat, it's a brutal position to be in. You don't really have any space to go. So it's extremely important just to see where you are, so you try to keep the clear air and just reach the mark and hope for a good downwind. Yeah,
for sure. It's obviously, like you said, they've all been training for this for a very long time. But when you're in it, and you've got and the pressure's on and the teams are following behind you, it's obviously these are professionals, but anything can happen. Anything can happen. So we just saw here Team Slovenia, which has just tack. And it looks as though are they in first place? Yeah, it's a little bit difficult it's a little deceiving here, because it does show them in first, but they may not necessarily be in first. It's just because of the way the tracking system works. Now, what's going to be really interesting is that it looks as though everybody's got a little bit more pressure, and I'll be very interested to see what's going on here at this windward mark. It's going to be, here we go. Let's take a good look at this. Now you see Team Ecuador here very, very close to the weather mark. A lot of things are going to be happening. Lucky for them, they're going to have a little bit of a dog leg in order to get things prepared for the hoist.
Yeah, and we see Slovenia attacking into the starboard tack, and if Ecuador can squeeze in and take the mark in front of them, looks like they will do so. So that gives them a lot of space to work with, and they don't really have to duck behind them, and they have clear air and they have time to hoist the Spinnaker. So looks like it worked out well for them.
Yeah, it's a very nice move, and look who's back. Slovenia has now come back and definitely attacking Ecuador.
Yeah, this will make for a really interesting downwind.
Yeah,
even
let's
though
see.
it's-
Let's see what's happening here on this hoist, because you see now Ecuador does not want to be overtaken, and they're definitely protecting their position as they're going high. Now let's see here this Spinnaker hoist. We already see that the Spinnaker on Team Slovenia is already out, and it looks like they're hoisting already now. So we're gonna have a very, very, very quick hoist. They might even have overlap. What's going on with Ecuador? It's too.
looks like they just didn't prepare it.
They didn't prepare, and it's not up yet. Here we go. This is a big advantage for Team Slovenia, which is now going to get the overlap and probably going to have to push them up. Here we go. So they're going to be able, now they're in a very strong position. They're probably going to luff. Oh, no, they're not. They're going for a jibe. They know that Ecuador has a problem. Oh, no, and Ecuador has their Spinnaker that's in the water. That's making a huge pocket of water, and that's just slowing the boat down. The boat is no longer moving. We knew that these Spinnaker handling positions are difficult. Look at this. Now the Spinnaker is in the water, and it's now on the wrong side of the boat, which means that not only is the boat completely stopped, but look at that. That's really tough. Now they got to bring the Spinnaker all the way to the other side, and that second place, they're about to lose that second place. They can't believe it back there. What's going on? It looks like they're putting their Spinnaker back in. They might have to jibe again in order to get it back out. Oh, what a terrible, terrible, terrible news for Ecuador. We had such a good start, and this was their second downwind. Let's look at what's happening here. They're about to hoist. We see that the tack. No one's picking up that tack line. That Spinnaker is not going out. Nobody's pulling on the tack line. In the pit right there, they're not pulling on that tack line, which is not bringing that Spinnaker out there. And now the problem is the water. It's going to fall into the water. It's going to make a balloon. There we go.
It looks like
too little,
both
too late.
corners, neither tack nor sheet was pulled.
Yeah, and there we go. And that's it.
Yeah, it's
So
basically just dropping an anchor.
Now, did something happen? Yeah, it's basically dropping an anchor. Exactly. Yeah, you just it's a floating anchor is what it is. Now let's see what happened. Did they have a technical issue on that boat, or did somebody forget to pull the tack line? I doubt that's the problem. Maybe something happened on their boat. Marco, I could hear some sound. Are you out there?
Yeah, we're out here, but we're just coasting along Slovenia. Can you hear me, Jan?
Yeah, I can hear you. Did you see what happened there with Ecuador? It looks like their tack line wasn't pulled. What are they doing? Are they trying to get that Spinnaker back up, or do they have a technical issue? Can you see?
Now it's up. It's up, and they just managed to jibe, so they finally got it set up correctly. They're on starboard and heading downwind, but they were second, and now they're dead last. They lost all that good positioning they had, and now Slovenia, their cool, calm, and collected demeanor is paying off. From what I understand, Ecuador had a problem since their takedown was done on one tack, and now they hoisted it on another and had some problems with the sheets. Or I still haven't understood fully what happened. Probably if you get a replay, you can better understand. But yeah, what a shame.
Yeah, it looked to us like we saw the Spinnaker actually go up. The hoist was okay, but it just looked like there was an issue with the tack line and with the they looked really down right there. They look very, very, very disappointed. We've got the onboard right now with Team Ecuador. So I think there was definitely something that went on or that didn't go on onto that boat.
No, definitely. And also, great maneuver by Slovenia. They came in that offset mark, 4 seconds, 5 seconds. Spinnaker was up, inflated, and they were already overtaking Ecuador. I feel like they kind of didn't anticipate exactly enough the maneuver, the hoisting, and bear away, but it happens. That's just how close racing is here. You mess up 1 second and you get overtaken by two boats.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that. We were talking about that pressure, the pressure they must be feeling, finally being able to lead, to be in the lead and stuff. And we already saw on the last downwind leg, they had a little bit of an issue on a jibe. Here we go. We're seeing the replay, Marcos, where we're just going to commentate what's happening. Just like you said, Team Slovenia has the Spinnaker up. One boat length after the offset mark, Spinnaker is up and they're cruising. They notice that there's a problem on the other boat, managed to get an overlap, then try to luff them, decide, oh no, it's not going to be worth it, save their position, and then they jibed away. So really quick thinking with this Slovenian team, able to react, to act, and then to react to different conditions, to immediately put in a jibe and keep on protecting themselves against Lithuania, which Lithuania had the back seat right there, and they were just ready to pounce, waiting for a problem to happen between these two boats. Pretty good position right now from Lithuania. Okay, now we're getting back down to the leeward gate. We will be going into the final windward mark. Now let's look at this. This is great. We get a really good view on what's happening here on this boat and the teamwork. Real nice drop. There we go. Spinnaker not in the water, keeping that thing dry, getting everything back up. Look at that. All the the jib is being tucked in nicely, and they're getting really close. Look at how close they are to that buoy. You can see the reflection of the buoy on the boat. Just a picture perfect drop, and they're going back up. I mean, they came back from last place. Now they're leading to with probably what's going to be like a 20-second lead over Lithuania. Lithuania right there with a very, very nice drop as well. Now they're taking a little longer to put it back into the boat, but that's fine. At least it's not in the water. And with a nice mark rounding, following very close, even closer, I think, than Slovenia. Here, the buoy seemed a little bit bigger on the reflection. Here we go now with Ecuador, which has decided to take the right-hand gate and making sure they get that Spinnaker in. Now it's going to be harder for them to get that Spinnaker in because that thing is wet, and it's kind of like trying to put on a wet T-shirt. It's just really, really difficult.
Yeah, both hoisting and putting it down becomes so much more difficult when it's wet, and we can expect that it's not going to be as fast as it could be at the top mark again when they need to hoist it. But they put it down. They managed to fix their mistakes. What is disappointing is didn't look like their mistake was forced by Slovenian. They just made it by themselves, which is always so disappointing as a sailor.
Yeah, for sure. And it's I could totally understand their frustration. When you're out there, but that's it. That's part of racing. That's the nerves, keeping your nerves calm, keeping a clear-headed. Making sure that you don't have too many bosses on the boat. That's another thing. You gotta when the excitement gets high, people have a tendency to talk, and really they can't be talking. I mean, it was it's gotta have a.
You have to keep focused on what's coming next and just do your thing.
It could be so many things. I mean, we're just, we're putting out some hypotheses here on what's happening, but I mean, we really don't know. We weren't on that boat. However, it is frustrating, and we could see the frustration on that onboard camera just afterwards. So let's just let's make sure we can have let's try for them to have a good. I mean, I'm saying we'll try like if I was on the boat, right? But it would be great to see them have a good last windward leg with a clean hoist and cross that finish line without any more issues.
Yeah, and now we see the boats have quite a bit of distance between each other, so it looks like it's gonna be a little bit more calmer beat, but again, the wind doesn't look like it's picking up, and it still looks patchy.
I love it. Every time they talk, just so clean. Did you see the number one just diving on the floor as they were doing attack? So the number one right there is the bowman. He was apparently in the front, and he had no place to go. So if he lies down, then the sail is just going to pass over him, and he's not going to have any issues. Because if he keeps standing up, that sail is just going to wipe him out, and he's going to end up into the water.
Yeah,
and they do have to finish with as many people as started as on the boat. So if they were to drop somebody in the water, they need to go back and pick them up.
Yeah, and as a bowman, you don't have much to do during the tacking process, so you just need to put your head down, get on the floor, let the sail go over you, and dive as fast as you can and get back into hiking.
Yeah.
Because even though the wind's not very high, but all the crew is
There we
hiking.
go. Look, you could see him just lying down there in the front and moving back up at exactly the same time as the others, just getting right back out there. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, they do not have any hiking straps. So they're just holding on with their hands, and they're just bending their knees. They don't have any hiking straps. They don't have any hiking pants or jacket or anything of that nature. They're just simply holding on.
Yeah, in this boat, you grab onto anything you can. Is it a sheet or a winch or a handrail? But you don't have anything.
Yeah, some of them are
specifically
holding on
designed for
to the winch handles. Others are holding on to the sheets, crossing their feet and putting them underneath their sheets. So no hiking straps, and you're pretty high when you on that upper part of the boat. You've got a properly sitting good 2 meters above the water. Good
Could be
6-7 feet approximately that you're off the water. So. Yeah, it's a precarious place to be. The first times, it's a very strange feeling, especially when you've been used to having hiking straps all your life around your feet. But look, no one's fallen into the water yet, and you can see they're all holding on very well. And sometimes we'll see those feet crossing and then going underneath the sheets. It doesn't look like they need to hike so hard right now, so it looks like a little bit less, perhaps a little bit less wind than what we saw just earlier.
in some positions it's much easier to hike than in others. Like here you can see in Team Lithuania.
There we
all
go.
You can see are
he was
shoes.
wrapping his leg around the sheet. There we go, with another foot underneath the sheet, so they're just hanging out there. So it's they're pulling up. There we go. That's a great shot right there, and that's how they're hiking. It is a physical game. They've now been they just raced for an hour. This one is probably going to be around an hour as well. So 2 hours of intensity of physically having to grind. I mean, because it's not easy to be able to do that, to go from one spot to the other, to have the timing like you just saw right there, the good timing, everybody coming up at the same time, then hiking. It just takes a lot of energy, physical and mental energy, to make sure that you're in the game, to make sure that you don't miss a step, to make sure that everything goes well, so that those Spinnaker hoists and takedowns are done well. So it's not just a physical game. It's really a mental game. You need to figure out when you're going to do your moves. You got to work with all your partners, and it's so complex, and that's really what makes it so interesting.
Yeah, in every position you just have so many details to keep track of, and you have to remind yourself just what's coming next, what do I do next, and that helps you to keep the focus, because if you start chatting with your friend and it looks like everything's going fine, and then you hear a command, for example, for attack or a jibe, and then you're just lost and you're
not ready, and you won't go. Yeah, that's one of the very first things, right? That when you have I wouldn't say beginner sailors, but amateur sailors, first thing, probably the best thing to do when you're racing is you only talk about racing. You don't talk about anything else. All the other conversations need to stop. You only talk about the essentials. And I think if everybody were to do that on their boat, probably they would see themselves have much better results.
Definitely. And as we can see, you only have to talk about racing, but not only about your position. You have to keep track what your friends around you are doing. So, if somebody misses something,
Here we go. They're at the weather mark right now.
Yeah,
now let's see all this teamwork. So now they've got, we see that the course is stable. They haven't changed the course because we still have those yellow marks, and we still have the offset. Look at that. They're already ready. The Spinnakers out there, these guys are pumped. They know they're doing really well. They're probably going to have the Spinnaker hoisted before they even get to the mark. They're going to sneak it behind the jib right there, making sure that it doesn't get itself filled up. There we go. You can see they're already taking the tension on the halyard.
Yeah, but it looks like they're going pretty high.
They're going pretty high. I think, let's see what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to directly jibe. Here we go. Here goes the Spinnaker. The Spinnaker is going up. Main sheet easing out. And jib dropping, Spinnaker up. Beautiful. Just one boat length. One boat length, and everything is already working fine. They've got a lot of pressure right there. They're going to be able to bear away.
Yeah, and in position like Slovenia, usually people try to, play it safe, maybe make it a little bit slower or make it more safe so you just minimize your mistakes. But Slovenia just put everything as they do in the racing mode and no stops.
All right, now here goes Lithuania. You see they're doing the same thing. They've got their kite ready. They're going up. They're going higher, a little bit higher than the actual mark. They're getting everything ready, so it's looking like they're going to try to be doing the same maneuver. Oh, they've already started. Oh, somebody's slipping. Oh, stay on the boat, buddy. Who is that? That's number 3?
Yeah, that's number 3. No, I think that was number 2.
Or is that number 2?
Yeah,
right there. It's
number
Toba,
1 and 2 are Batmans.
Tadas.
Yes.
Tadas Gigis.
Yeah, we saw Lithuanians hoist a bit maybe too early, and the Spinnaker started flying, so he went there just to grab it and keep it from...
And almost fell off the boat. All right, here we go. No, that's good. All right, come on, Ecuador. Let's see it. We want a good hoist here. There we go. There goes the tack line out in front. Perfect. Very nice. That's much, much, much better. That's a very, very clean hoist. Look, they're even, I think, a little bit faster than Lithuania. So they're back in it. Come on, let's get that Spinnaker nice and full. Let's get some speed up. So now we're going to be seeing another race. Between a race now, we're looking at Ecuador going to try to attack Lithuania, making sure that they've got to keep their speed up. It looks like there's a lot of things going on that Lithuanian boat, and they don't have very much speed.
Yeah, it looks like people are trying to fix something, running around. And
it does look like that, doesn't it? It looks like they're more concentrated on what's going on inside their boat than what's going on outside, and it looks like Ecuador is taking an advantage on that. They are moving in, and they're about 80 meters behind them, 90. So okay, here we go. Now they just noticed that we're getting attacked here. So they're heading up. We saw, there we go. That was a good move by Ecuador, trying to go a little bit high and try to get between their opponent and the wind, trying to block the wind for Lithuania. Lithuania now has seen the move, and they are now reacting to that move. It was a little bit slow reaction, and Ecuador has now managed to get back into the game, but especially because they did a very nice hoist right there. You definitely see there was it was definitely completely different from the last one we saw.
Yeah, and what we talked about, the wet Spinnaker didn't really stop them at all, so it was a great move by them and gave them a chance to attack. And we saw yesterday that Ecuador really likes to go a bit higher than everybody else in the downwinds, so let's see if this pays off.
So now with Slovenia, now that it's just jibed, is coming back into the center of the center here of the field of the regatta field, and we see them. They do this. Why would they come back to the middle?
When you're leading and have a safe lead, it's important to keep yourself between the mark and your opponents. So you always have the possibility to go either left or right, depending on what's happening. Looks like Slovenians are doing just that. They're just playing it safe, keeping the fleet behind them, and really looking to minimize the mistakes that could happen, or something accidental, like opponents catching some magical gust. And
yeah, so if they were by staying in the middle, basically they're taking less risk, right?
Yeah.
If they're on the left-hand side and a shift came in on the right, then then your opponents would be have the advantage. So they're not really going to be. It's not either. They're just taking less risk because they know they're out in front, and we can see right now they have almost a 400-meter lead. So for them right now, it's just making sure they stay out in front and keep that position. Oh, wow, look at that. They already are on the lane line, or not very far away from the lane line. So it looks like it's going to be in the bag here for Slovenia. Once again, they don't have to take their Spinnaker down before they get down to the finishing line. So there should be no dramas in that regards. Now let's see the battle that's going to be going on between Ecuador and Lithuania.
Yeah, for Slovenians, it's just a jibe or two, depending on they're on the ley line or not. And for Lithuania and Ecuador, we see they're very close, and I would expect some jibing matches before the finish.
Yeah, there might be a little jibing match, exactly, that just before we get to the finishing line. That would be great. So we have 430 meters left here. We're really getting down towards the bottom. We still see all the full concentration here on the boats. We see the boats have some pretty good speed. Looks like so we've got some nice speed over here. We get a little bow wave going on. So that's very nice to see. And look at that. There is absolutely no wake that is being made behind that boat. So body positioning, crew positioning is just beautiful. 280 meters left until we get down to the final finishing line here for race number 4 of this qualifying series, of the round 2 of this qualifying series. Slovenia took the first one, they took the second one today. So respectively, race 3 and 4, they have won now. Wonderful sailing by them. Coming back after a not such a good start, they managed to get back into it. The concentration, the teamwork, and boat handling, maneuvers, just very, very good.
Yeah, and it's basically the same story as we had yesterday.
Here we go.
They don't have the greatest starts, but they always claw back and win the races. So it means everybody's focused, going fast, and
they're happy. Very good. What a comeback. What a sail. What a sail. So they're very happy. They look very relieved. There's Vasily Bogart right there, which is, he's ecstatic. That was a very good race on his part, and what a good job with his team. Every single maneuver was just perfect. Really did a great job. So is that Marco trying to get on his boat again? I'm sure we're going to see Marco in the picture here at some point. But before that, let's get back to the 2 other boats that still need to finish, and let's see what these guys are doing. How much difference? How many meters are in between them? I think we were seeing maybe 200 meters before. So it's looking like Lithuania will probably have to do another jibe. Same with Ecuador. There we go. As we pan around, we get a good view. So here we go. Final jibe before we get to the finishing line. They're fast. Your team, Lithuania, right there. I mean, they've managed to pull out even more distance with Ecuador. Ecuador, which is finishing 3rd, really unfortunate. We saw them in the lead in the beginning. Looks like maybe the pressure got to them, but it was great. I mean, we see that they definitely can be up there, and they're definitely a team to watch out for tomorrow. Let's not forget tomorrow is double points. Here we go, Lithuania. I'm sure they wanted to be up there for a little bit. So they look satisfied. I wouldn't say happy. I think they look just satisfied. And here, here comes Ecuador.
What can you do? You just take the advantage of the mistakes that the opponents do. And
there you go. No high fives here. Everybody pretty frustrated. So yeah, that's that's what happens. That's sailing. That's racing for you. Not easy. Really tough break for these guys. They were sailing so well. They got a really good start. They got 2 super good starts off the pin end. Their timing on the line was really good. They were actually the first boat to cross the line. Both the times they had some speed. You know, they've got everything it takes. Just the other teams, you know, they're so good. One little mistake and it'll drop you back to it'll drop you down the order and you'll finish last. So yeah, tough break, but this just goes to show how much of a how much of a difficult how competitive all these teams are. So here we go. That's the points awarded today. So 3 points for Team Slovenia, 2 points for Team Lithuania, and 1 point for Team Ecuador. We'll see the overall results here soon, and it'll give us a really good idea. We'll have Slovenia probably with quite a few points coming into the lead for tomorrow. Here we go, provisional overall. So 11 points for Slovenia, 5 points for Ecuador, 8 points for Lithuania. So you see here we've done 4 races. Race 5 and race 6 will be happening tomorrow, and tomorrow we will be live. Tomorrow we do have a time constraint. We won't be able to get a race started after 4 p.m. local time. So if we have the same amount of wind as we had today, then it'll be no problem. Should it be lighter, you know, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. In any case, you guys keep sticking around. We're gonna take a couple looks at the highlights. We've got Marco right there. Here we go. We can see Marco from the onboard. Marco,
Ciao.
It's all you.
Yeah. Well, we're here obviously on board SSL Team Slovenia. Second win for the team. How are you feeling? Are you happy?
Sure, it's great to win, especially with such a lead like we did this time.
Well, obviously consistent, you know, win one, win the second. Talk to us what happened at the top mark where Ecuador had a problem.
They were not able to hoist, so we could even laugh them to make them penalty, but okay, let's try to keep it calm. So, but was cool, yeah, really nice.
And so now you have, I believe, 6 points or something like that lead over Ecuador, which is the third team. Do you think you have enough to go through and qualify for the final series?
I think you have to fight till the last one. It's also, this is a sport and we have to do it.
Thank you and good luck going into tomorrow's Golden Day.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Marco. I think that's great what we just heard from him. Just, you know, saying, well, we could have left him. We could have given him a penalty. But really what they decided to do was to, you know, to win the war and not the battle. There was no point in going over and trying to give them a penalty because in any case, they had their Spinnaker in the water. They were done. So, you know, making sure that you win the war and then making sure that you stay in the middle of the field and you make sure Lithuania doesn't come back on you. And to be able to do that, to go from that switch from being aggressive to, okay, let's give them a point, let's try to take them out, to, okay, this is not worth it, we're going to waste too much time, let's change, let's jibe. I mean, that's really difficult, and to be able to have the crew to be able to do that, because, like we said, you know, it takes a lot of people to make these boats jibe and to go left and right. So, really, really wonderful sailing that we saw on their part, and the reaction time was unbelievable. So anyhow, let's take a little look here at the race replay and show you guys what happened over this very exciting second race that we had today. Okay, perfect. 2 minutes and 30 seconds on this. What a wonderful replay. That was action-packed right there. That was just wonderful to see these two races. Here we go. This is Grandson that you're looking at right now. That's the Jura behind us, and that was what was giving us those clouds all day long, making for some, some shifty, little bit of shifty conditions. Obviously to be expected. That's 1,500 meters tall. Those mountains right there behind that you're seeing. They don't look so big, but they are actually, they're pretty tall, and definitely have a lot of influence over the race course. Speaking of the race course and the way the bracket system, we're going to take a real quick look here at the way the qualifying and the brackets system works. And so here we go. This is the qualifying series. So we are in the qualifying series right now. Like we said, the qualifying series round 1 happened about a week ago. We are in the qualifying series round 2, and we see now we have Ecuador, Lithuania, Slovenia. Unfortunately, Hong Kong could not be here because of COVID restrictions. They are stuck back home, so that's why we only have 3 teams. So two of these 3 teams will be making it over to the next round, which is the 32nd of final, which is what we're going to be seeing now. So here we go. So on the left-hand side of is the 32nd of final, and so we will have qualifying around 1, and then qualifying around 2, 3, 4, etc. That will be in there. There are 8 qualifying rounds, and so therefore there will be 16 teams that will be making it into this 32nd of finals. And then the other teams that you see there on the 16th of finals, 8th, 4th, and are all teams that are already qualified because of their ranking, of their number in the ranking. We have also, you see there underneath, Austria on the left-hand side. On the 16th of finals, we have Bahrain, which is going to be where is going to be hosted the finals. So we are excited to go over there during the month of November in order to have all these finals being played out, and see what the final match board will look like once we get to the 20th of November for the finals. So that's a little bit about how it's going on. So we've got all these teams now that are coming over here and qualifying, and it's a really interesting way of doing things here for the SSL Gold Cup. And it's a new format, and we're really excited to have this, to have our 56 nations that are over here and that are coming and duking it out here on the water, and in this wonderful lake Neuchâtel in Grandson, Switzerland. And it's just wonderful. And thank you very much wherever you are, whether it be morning, afternoon, or evening for you guys. Thank you for joining us. We've got now a little replay ready for you, and don't forget to join in tomorrow. We'll be live. It'll be the golden day. Everything points will be doubled. So here we go. Thank you very much. A little bit of the best images and pictures that we've had today.
Minus 10, 9, 8. We have a go for main engine start. We have main engine start.